the main topic, and we can kind of veer off, but I want to make sure we stick to the main topic. Let me pull. Can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll probably switch from this to like blue letter just for like a couple things. So the main topic of this is Romans 11, and I just want to get you guys' take on Romans 11. What do you feel is the overall message, and who do you think this is being spoken to? Let me take this off. Where are my highlights? Oh, there it is.
Other on.
So like it. I'm trying to get situated. I got camp in a couple hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so when we read Romans 11 and it's talking about the grafting in, our stance is I'm trying to get my camera connected. That it's speaking about Israelites. Hold on. I was just saying I can't put my camera on.
Shoot, Tazo, I can answer for you, bro, so you can get set up.
Yeah, Baba Kusha, I just got back to the crib.
Now, basically, our stance on Romans 11 is that Paul is talking to the Israelites of our people that's been scattered in the Greek provinces and the Roman provinces, and basically telling them how they are now coming back into the fold.
Okay. So with that, do you guys believe that Israel is one flesh, multiple flesh? Like, how do you view, Israel as a people during this time?
I mean, we believe that Israel, if you're an Israelite, that means you descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So physical bloodline.
Right. So that would be one flesh, regardless of northern and southern, right?
Regardless.
Okay. Okay. So let me see where I want to start. Let me start in. Let me start in verse 2. Yeah, okay. So verse 2, when it says, God hath not cast away his people which he foreknew. What ye not what the scripture saith of Elias, how he maketh intercession to God against Israel, saying, when it says Israel there, is that all of Israel?
In the context, yeah, because it's talking about Elias. It's talking about the account of Elias when I don't forgot what was going on, but actually he thought that all of Israel uh didn't believe in God and basically forsake God and stuff like that.
I think it's like 1 Kings 18 or 19.
Yep.
Okay, so that's all Israel right there. So when we go down to verse 7 and it mentions Israel again, is that all Israel?
Yeah, in that context, yeah.
Okay, so
Well, it depends. Let me see 7. What then Israel have not attained? In that context, I would say yeah.
okay, because we'll read and it says, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it. So when it says the election hath obtained it, it's speaking about the elect of Israel, right? Of all of Israel.
Yeah, it's talking about the elect and then how some of
Okay.
the some of Israel is blinded.
Okay. Well, it uses kind of strong language here. It uses this word loipos, meaning like everybody else. So like it's basically saying everybody else who's not elect was blinded, right? Do you agree with that?
Uh, like what do you mean by that? Are you who is
Like,
the elect to you?
well, the who doesn't necessarily matter because it's already telling us it's Paul's talking about Israel, and he says the election of Israel has obtained it, and the rest were blinded. So, like if I said, if I was speaking to my kid and I said, hey, I grabbed some of the groceries. Can you go grab the rest in the car? What does that mean when I say the rest?
You're talking about the rest of the groceries that's left.
Right. So that would be like the same exact analogy here. When he says the rest were blinded, he's saying like the rest of Israel, just as we can supply, but
So
the
you taking that to
election.
mean? Are you taking that to mean Paul is saying all of Israel is blinded?
No, the rest outside of the elect, because he already says the elect
Okay, then we
has
agree then.
obtained it.
So yeah, we agree
Right.
then. The elect of Israel, and then you got the rest of Israel that was blinded.
Right. So in a sense, well, not in a sense, Paul's basically saying like this is all of Israel. Israel consists of elect, and everybody else outside of the elect is blinded for the most part. Right. Okay.
You got
So
Israel
then,
as the elect, and then you got the elect inside of Israel.
right. Okay.
Yeah, but I just want to say that just because it's talking about all of Israel here, it doesn't mean in the rest of the chapter it's speaking about other people. I just want to make that very clear because I feel like you're trying to trap us into meaning he's talking
No,
about all of Israel here.
yeah, we I
No,
understand this. We
we're just
believe
going with the chapter.
the whole context is to Israel all the way to the end.
Yeah, no, we just going with the chapter. Um, so when it says the rest were blinded, we can equate the blinded with where is it at? Verse 23. Oh no, not verse 23. I'm trying to look for the broken off branch. Oh, verse 19. That will say, then the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. So the broken off branches, this would be the blinded Israel, right?
Uh, I wouldn't say that's no. I wouldn't say that's the blinded of Israel.
Yeah,
No,
no.
not at all.
No.
No.
So who are the blinded as Paul moves down this chapter?
Well, we
Well,
got to
it
keep
would be in context. It's talking about basically who Christ who Christ breaks down who went against him. They would be the scribes and the Pharisees.
Okay, but wait, when it comes to being blinded, good morning. Oh, 1 second, y'all. Good morning. Where's mama? Go get
My
mama.
bad, Tyler, Robert, if I'm speaking over you, brother.
No, you good,
Close
man.
the door for me. Okay, go. Wait, close the door. Close the door for me. Okay. Yeah, close it. Okay. So when it comes to being blinded, and it's speaking about Israel, it's speaking about there's an election, and then everybody else was blinded. Uh, so when it comes to being blinded, it's either you see the truth or you're blinded to the truth, right?
Yeah.
Right, but the elect also includes that grafting in. They will be part of that elect of Israel as well. So the kept tree isn't the elect, and then the wild olive tree is now somebody else outside of the elect.
No.
That's
Okay.
why I said I feel like you're trying to move us in a position to where this is talking about all Israel, and then the rest were blinded with those who were broken off. Therefore, the kept olive tree is the elect, and then the rest were blinded was the branches broken off, and then it's well now let's talk about this wild olive tree. It must be somebody else. No, the wild olive tree that's grafted in is part of is part of that elect as well.
The wild olive tree that's grafted in is part of the elect as well.
Yeah, that's why I said we got to keep reading down.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay. So let's keep so just with this though, just very
Mm-hmm.
basic. So when Paul says the rest were blinded, either you're blinded to the truth or you see it, right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you're blinded to the truth, doesn't that mean you're in a state of unbelief?
When you're blinded, yeah.
Yeah,
Right. Because
some people didn't believe in Christ.
right. So unbelief would just be in the Greek text when you got the word faith, it's the word pistis. Whenever you
Right.
look at unbelief, it's apistis. When you put the a in front of a word, it negates the word, so it just means no faith, right?
Right,
um
of course.
so so verse 23, when it says, and they also, if they abide not still in unbelief shall be grafted in, for God is able to graft them in again. So this abiding not still in unbelief would refer back to the blinded, right?
I would say
Yeah.
so.
So again, the one we have to consider not only just the uncircumcised Jews that were treated unfairly, right? But we also have to consider the northern kingdom, which is also not around at this time in the majority, right? So it's not just a in this time now other people are grafted in as in other nations. That's why I said we have to keep reading, because what you did is you asked us about verse 7 and then jumped down to verse 17 and then verse 23. No, we got to keep reading to get the context so that way we can properly understand the whole chapter and not just take two verses. That's why I said at first we got to keep reading, because verse 11 speaks about it.
Okay, you want to go ahead and read verse 11? Is this big
But I
enough on
want
my
to,
screen?
yeah, I
Yeah,
want to start on
we can
from.
see it. We can see it.
Okay. What'd you say, Tazara?
I wanted to start down from. We can start at verse 7.
Okay, you want to read?
Yeah, I got it. So, well, actually, you could read. I ain't gonna hold you. Your screen look a little funky to me.
That's cool. Wait, actually, let me see. I'm trying to make it
The other
user friendly
one,
for y'all too. I don't want to just.
the other
Nah, you
No,
one.
good. I'll just get my Bible. We smooth.
I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all see me?
Yeah, we can hear you,
Uh,
but not see you.
can't see you.
can't see you though.
But I'll read it. I got my Bible, so we smooth. I just won't read off of your screen. Um, so it says, "I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid." What does this mean when he says, "Have they stumbled that they should fall?" God forbid.
Or you just wanted to stop there?
Well, yeah, I wanted to break it down slowly. I didn't want to just skip over things.
Okay, go for it.
No, I'm asking you, what does this mean?
Or what does this mean? I say then have they stumbled that they should fall, God forbid. Oh, he's answering the question because he already says the Jews have stumbled. Now the question is, have they fallen? Have they fallen out of God's grace completely? And he says, no, God forbid. But rather through their fall is come unto salvation is come unto the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy.
Right.
Mhm.
So when it says, have they stumbled that they should fall? When you say falling from God's grace, what does that look like? Meaning falling from God's grace. So if they did all fall from God's grace, what would that look like?
Meaning God would basically, here's a better illustration of this. Philippians 1, I think verse 6. Paul says in Philippians 1, verse 6, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. So once God starts performing a good work in you, it's not like he's just going to stop and put you down like a project that's going to sit on the shelf and never get completed.
You got to endure
Um,
to the end, basically.
right.
So what does that word fall mean right there?
Uh, what do you mean? You want to look at the definition? We can look it up.
Yeah.
Man, everything is so small today. Hold up. Okay, that's better. Okay, to move with relativity or relative rapidity in a downward direction, fall the passive of the idea conveyed in Balo from a higher point. Yeah, it's basically in the same sense that you think of falling, it just means to go in a downward direction.
To
From
just
what? What the direction that they're coming from, what is that?
You tell me. I don't want to put anything on it.
Their position on earth, right? How
Okay.
God treats them other than other people. So it says, have they stumbled? What does that word stumbled mean? Can we go into that word
Stumbles.
stumbled?
Yeah, sure. Am I right? Okay, hold up. Stumbled.
I'm going to swim in the ocean.
You going swimming? Better not go without me. Okay, stumble to lose one's footing. Basically, how we think of stumbling, right? So the walk in life is halted in a sense.
So have they sinned? Because go back to it because it said sin and misdeed.
Oh, where are you looking
Yeah,
at that?
that
On
word
here?
stumbled. Yeah. So it says footing, stumbled, scroll down.
Mm-hmm.
But then it says we commit many sins, right? To experience disaster, be ruined. Yeah, that looks weird. I ain't gonna hold you. Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me,
it's in Greek too, so
yeah, it's just the way it's
yeah.
like um kind of just put on there. It's confusing. Hold on again. Let me pull it up on my phone.
Straight.
Right.
Yeah,
So it means to cause one to stumble or fall, to stumble, to err, make a mistake, to sin, to fall into misery, become wretched. So have they broken the covenant that they made with God, that they should fall from a higher place to a lower place? Is that what's going on in verse 11?
yeah.
Okay. So when you say that these non-Israelites are grafted in, does that mean
Mm-hmm.
that Israel has lost part of their promises to where now it is now open up to everybody? Because I watched your videos, and in one of
Yeah.
your videos, you said that along those lines, not word for word.
Well, I was speaking about you talking about when I spoke about having new heavens and new earth.
No, you mentioned that later, but it was before that.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact thing I said. But say that one more time because I don't think I heard you clearly.
Okay, so this is saying, have they sinned that they should fall from a higher place to a lower place, lose their authoritative position on earth? And then it says,
Yeah,
God forbid.
yeah.
You on mute.
I'm on mute.
No, not you.
You talking about me? I was basically asking, are the Israelites on the same level as the Gentiles, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah. As
Oh,
in,
yeah. No, I agree. Some Gentiles, not all Gentiles.
Okay, right. Yeah, I get you. So this is saying, God forbid that they lost their position that they've always held
Right,
because of their sin. So
right.
then it says, but rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles. Why did it say, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But then it said, but through their fall. I thought they did not fall.
Okay. What's your point? What's your point here?
I'm asking you to break it down
Well, no,
because that's
I'm just trying to see where you're going with this because this doesn't really like just go ahead and make your point.
okay. So boom. So it says, but rather through their fall. Can we go into that word fall and see if it's the same fall that is just used? No, the other one later on in that verse.
Oh wait, hold up. Yeah, no, it's two different words. This one up here is pipto,
Right.
and this one down here, this is a noun. So
Okay. So what is that?
para paraptoma paraptoma sin.
Right.
So
So it
you
says,
actually have yeah. So you have two different words here. This is speaking about coming from a higher place to a lower place, and this is about
right.
sin. Yeah.
So the
So
first part of the verse said, have they sinned that they lost their position of their promises, of their covenants, of their authoritative position on earth? And then it says, no, they haven't. God forbid that happens. But then it says, but rather through their sin, salvation is coming to the Gentiles. Isn't that a contradiction from his first statement in the earlier verse?
which verse? Which verse?
The same one early on in the verse. Because he just said just because they sin, that doesn't mean they lose their position. But then he says, but through their sin, they lose their position and now it's open to everybody.
Yeah, I know this is a false dichotomy, like the question itself, because you're just harping so much on this one little verse. So I don't get the relevance of this
No.
question to the entirety of
We're
the
going to keep
chapter.
reading, but every time I've watched the videos, you've never touched on this verse. You smooth went past it. And so I'm trying to get the understanding of this verse so that way we can go to verse 12 all the way down to verse 26.
Okay. So how are we defining this word Gentiles?
Again, I'm asking you a question. If you don't know, that's fine. He said in
Yeah,
the first portion of the verse have they sinned that they fell from their position? He says no. But
Okay.
then he says, but through their sin, salvation is now come unto the Gentiles. That would mean that they fell from their position. And now they're equal to non-Israelites.
Wait, no. It's not that they fell from their position. It's now Gentiles are being brought up to their position. So you think that because Jews and Gentiles now have the same standing position, that Jews basically go from here to here, but it's no. Gentiles go from here to here. So no, they have not lost their position. So no.
They did, because their position was that they're the ruling class of the earth, and now they are not the only ruling class of the earth. Now it's other nations as well.
Right, but just as in Israel, there is an elect and then there is an unbelieving large portion. Same thing with the Gentiles. The Gentiles as a whole, there's an elect and then there's a non-believing, which would still fall on the bottom pedestal of things as far as the people of God are concerned. So it's not as though all Gentiles are raised to the same spot of all Israel, and now Israel really doesn't have a position above anybody. No, it's the elect of the Gentiles, the elect of Israel hold this high position.
Yeah, so I get you that you're saying that the Gentiles are moving up, but that word fall, the first fall was they're coming down from a position.
This
We
was
already went
this
over
was
that.
the Jews, right? The Israelites.
Correct.
Right.
So you're saying that the Gentiles are coming up, but the word fall means that the Israelites are coming down.
Well, no, it's saying, have they stumbled? Have they sinned that they should fall, that they should come down from their position?
Right.
God forbid. This is exactly
Right.
what you broke down. God forbid, but rather through their sin, salvation has come unto the Gentiles. There's another word in here that actually shows, when we get to it, I'll point it out. But let's keep reading because I don't see where this is kind of going. Seems like it's kind of going in a circle. So let me
No.
ask you in verse 11 at the end, when it says for to provoke them to jealousy,
Right.
I'm sure you know where this is quoted from.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's this quoted from?
Deuteronomy.
Nah, ICK, that's facts.
Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy 32.
Yeah.
Okay, so far we got Tazara, Oz. How you say your other brother's name? Is it Dawala?
Yeah,
Dawa
that was,
Allah.
Dawa Allah.
yeah, just call me D, man.
D. All right, yeah, that's easy. That's easy. Uh, all right, so we got Oz, Tazara, D, and Ayash.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Okay, cool. And hey, Oz, where y'all from? Are y'all from Seattle?
Nah, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Yeah, I'm
Texas.
from
Okay.
Houston.
Okay. Houston. Okay, got you. Because y'all Instagram is Space City, and I was thinking of Space Needle. So I was like, are they from Seattle? Okay.
Nah, that's in
Nah,
Houston.
nah. If you come to Houston, because of NASA and all that, so they call the city Space City.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that. Okay, cool. Yeah, I got family out in Arlington. I don't know if we'd ever be up in Houston. I don't know how far that is from there, but yeah, if I'm ever up there, I'll look out for you guys. Where do you guys usually go and you street preach?
Yeah, you can catch us downtown, man. Downtown Main Street.
Okay.
So I get
So
Shalom. I stepped away for a little bit. The Shalom is to meet and
yeah,
Naki.
Yeah.
shalom. Girl, what you doing? V, I need some time. I need like what time is it? I need like 30 minutes, girl. 30 minutes. Go hang out with mama. One second, y'all.
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So did you find that reference to Zara?
Yeah, Deuteronomy 32 and 21. Yeah.
Okay. So when it says, and I'm reading Deuteronomy 32 and 21, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with the foolish nation. So when Israel provoked God to jealousy, were they worshiping God or worshiping another God?
They're worshiping other gods.
Okay, so when God is going to provoke Israel to jealousy, is he going to provoke them to jealousy with Israel or with another people?
Contextually in Romans 11 with Israel.
Yeah, I
Well,
was
no,
about
I'm
to say.
asking, I'm asking, yeah, I'm asking here though, and back in the Torah where it says this,
Yeah.
if Israel moved God to jealousy by going after another God, you're saying God's going to provoke Israel to jealousy by going after Israel?
Well, the problem that you're having is in the Torah, that's talking about another nation. But the way that Paul is using it, how he's applying scripture, he's using it to talk about the other Israelites.
So, okay, so you're saying that it's okay for an apostle to reapply scripture which was meant in a different way.
I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay. No, I'm just saying because we make the same argument with Romans 9 with Hoshea, but that's another topic. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it depends, but it just depends on the context of how the person is using the scripture.
Okay. All right. So okay. So God's gonna provoke Israel to jealousy with Israel here.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now in Romans 11, from verse 1 down to verse 11, where we're at, has Paul given any indication of northern or southern outside of just saying Israel for all Israel, like we agreed in verse 7?
He hasn't given like as if he's speaking the northern or southern kingdom, but he's given an example of how he's speaking to cast out Israelites.
Okay, but that could be both northern and southern.
Yeah, it could be either or.
Yeah, so it's not really one or the other. It's both unless Paul distinguishes it, right?
Now, if you want to get into the nitty gritty, at this time he will be talking about the Jews that scatter abroad, because the northern kingdom at this time they're in a whole nother place right now.
Yeah, but they came back at around this time. They definitely at least came back to Pentecost.
No,
No,
not
sir.
at all. No, sir.
You don't believe they came to Pentecost?
No.
All the
I
Jews.
mean, Acts 2 says
No, not
Jews came
all of
back.
them, but some of them that were in the that were from Northern Israel, they came back to Pentecost. If you read the places that they came from, and you go and read about the exile of the Northern Kingdom, it's the same places they were scattered to.
Yeah, but the northern kingdom is gone. Like at this time, Samaria is ran by Gentiles. You
So
only you only got like a sprinkle of northern kingdom around at this time. Ain't no northern kingdom was long gone. They're gone. They're lost. That's why they call it the lost 10 tribes.
so but didn't you guys say something about the Northern Kingdom? Well, okay, so let me ask this before we even go any further. Who are the Gentiles?
The Gentiles and are the outcast of Israel.
Hold
The
on.
outcast, the
Romans
outcast
11?
of Israel. Okay, so it's not going to be northern or southern. It's just going to be the outcast of Israel. Wouldn't the outcast of Israel fall under the blinded?
When did the outcast Israel?
No,
Okay, so
no.
okay, the outcast, do they see the truth?
Does that mean they're blind?
Well, I'm just trying to get, because
Well, no,
simplification.
you're asking leading questions based on your ideology. And I just said, no. How can Gentiles, whether they didn't have the truth or not know the truth, they weren't in Israel to witness who the world calls Jesus? That's what it's referencing. They're blind because the Jews that were there didn't believe in Jesus. That's the blindness it's talking about.
Yeah.
Now, the scattered Israelites didn't know anything about anything. They weren't there.
Con, they grew up as Greek, you
Yeah,
know?
so
Right.
how would they
But
even
yeah,
recognize
no,
the
I'm
Jews?
just asking because I understand that the ones you're talking about, they haven't seen Christ. But my question is just
How can
simple.
they be blind if they don't even know what's going on? They
My
never heard
question
of
is
it ever. They
okay,
don't live in Israel. It's just that
okay.
simple.
But look, so do you see a category outside of seeing the truth and not seeing the truth?
That's because the context, sorry guys, but the context is talking about the people that seen Christ. This whole situation that Paul is addressing is what was going on in Jerusalem. The other Israelites, like Ayash was saying, they wasn't around to even be blinded. They had no idea what who Christ is or what's going on. So the blinded here is the people that wasn't in Israel that got to witness Christ and said they don't believe in Christ.
So the people that haven't witnessed Christ, what category would they be in? Would it be seeing the truth or not seeing the truth? If neither of the
They
two,
wouldn't be
what
in
is
either category.
so what is the third category of either you see or you don't see? What's the third category that fits in there? Because I'm confused. I'm thinking it's the same thing with sight. We either see things or we don't. So I'm trying to understand where you guys
Okay,
are coming from with the third category.
when did they get a chance to see anything when they're living
No,
outside of Israel?
that's not my question. My
It
question
is
is
your
you guys
question.
but listen, no. This is my question. You either see or you don't. That's how I understand it. You either see or you're blinded. You guys are saying no, it's neither. So I'm asking specifically, what is that third category called? If you see or don't see, what's in between that?
Sir, here's
Yeah.
the thing. Minister Meach, you're trying to force us down a hallway, and we don't have a hall pass, so you
I'm
just
not.
can't
I'm
do
just
this.
confused. No, I'm honestly
No, I
confused.
know what you're trying to do. It's okay. I'm going to address your point, just real brief. The earlier context said what? Hold on, let me read it because I know it's on the screen. Where was the blindness part at? 6.
Here, I can pull up here. Hold on. I
Uh,
can. Yeah,
I
hold on.
think
One
you're.
second. I can
Oh,
pull
this
up
is
the thing for
Romans.
you guys. One sec.
And I'm actually going to get a precept, a very cold precept in John 7, if somebody could read that for me.
Yeah.
John 7:35. It's cool.
Yeah, and we can go to another dynamic of the same particular process in Luke.
Okay. All right. You see the screen?
It's small, but let me hold on.
Wait, hold on.
The other screen was larger.
Yeah, it's because the way my screen is. Wait, hold up.
it's Romans 11 and verse 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Okay. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded.
All right.
The election have obtained what? What have they obtained that, and the rest were blinded?
So we already agreed on this that this is speaking about all of Israel. Do you agree with that, Ayash?
I agree with it being about Israelites that were there in Israel at the time.
That's not what I said.
What you mean?
Remember when we spoke about this earlier, I was like, "Hey, Israel here. This is
Well,
not
I
northern
said I
southern."
told you it's in the context of what Paul is talking about. That's why I said Paul is talking about what happened in Jerusalem. All of Israel at the time wasn't in Jerusalem. That's why I said that.
You ain't say none of that. I just asked simply. I was like, "Hey, it says there's an elect of Israel, and then everybody else, the rest, were blinded." You said, "Yeah, I can agree with that in this context." That's all
Yeah,
you said.
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's because in my mind the context that Paul is talking about is what's going on in Israel. He's not referring to if you're saying that's referring to all Israelites, then my answer would be no. It's not referring to all Israelites. All,
Well,
all
okay.
Israelites that
So
would come when there.
okay. So when it says that there's an election of Israel, then it says the rest were blinded. I asked you, I was like, hey, if I'm speaking to my kid and I said, hey, I grabbed some of the groceries, can you grab the rest? You said, oh, that means everything else. And I thought we
But
kind of came to a conclusion that yeah, this
yeah,
is
again, but that's still contextual.
yeah, contextual of Israel.
But again, if it can't be contextual of all Israel, because
It's
all
okay.
Israel is not there.
Okay, but it says Israel. It's not saying Israelites there that I'm speaking to, or certain Israelites in Rome or certain Israelites in Alexandria. It just says Israel. So is there something?
It don't too much
Okay,
matter that it just says Israel, because you have to still go off of history. Paul cannot be referring to all of Israel in this context, because even Paul
okay,
himself knows that there's scattered Israelites. So you
okay.
can't just say,
Yeah,
well,
So
the rest of them are mine. You can't do that.
so in verse 2, we had agreed that this was Israel. This was all Israel. This word Israel here in Romans 11 verse 2. Speaking of Elias, how he made an intercession to God against Israel. So is this not all Israel now?
sir. This is
No,
getting,
look, wait. I'm
this
talking
is
to
getting
Oz
very,
because
very just.
but wait, me and Oz were talking about this earlier and we had agreed, and now it seems like when you and other brother D hopped on, we kind of switching gears. So I'm trying to get back to where we was so we could keep going.
Is that the same context, sir?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Like,
That's
if you're
crazy. Why would you just try to
But
butcher the
wait,
context? Just try to fit
but
that. We're trying to make it change to mean something else.
but
You're
Ayash,
butchering the context,
it's the same word, Israel.
sir. Oh
This
my!
is the same
You can't.
context.
You
This is
can't. You
Romans
can't be a
11.
minister doing this. You can't be a minister doing this.
Okay, so all right,
Why
Ayash,
are
let me
you
ask you.
butchering the
In
context?
Romans 11, let me ask you then. Let me ask you. In Romans 11, verse 2, when it says Israel, is this all of Israel?
In that context, it's talking about what Elias did. Yes.
Okay, all right, perfect. In verse 11, tell me what changes between verse 2 and verse 11. I'll give you time to look. What changes when Paul uses the same word Israel here?
this is crazy.
Oh
No,
man.
come on, like seriously, because you guys are saying that this is now a different Israel in a different locale, and it's not
No,
speaking about it's not
Yeah,
speaking about the scattered.
we're
real
just
quick,
talking using common sense when it comes to reading this in
just
verse
because it
2. Go ahead, Tazra.
it's like it, just because it uses the word Israel in the same chapter, it doesn't mean it's talking about all of Israel in both cases. When you read Hebrews 8 and 8, it says the house of Israel and the house of Judah. Is that talking about all of Israel and then more of Israel? Or is that the northern and the southern kingdom?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I was
So just because it uses the same word early on in the chapter, it doesn't mean that it's talking about the entire nation in both cases. In Hebrews 8 and 8, when it says the house of Israel and the house of Judah, is that speaking about northern kingdom and southern kingdom, or all of Israel plus more of Israel?
Yeah, well, that context, it's mentioning Judah. So clearly that's the context.
No,
So
no, no,
now
no.
this is
But
no, well,
I'm just
wait, hold up. Hold up. So in that context, it's mentioning Judah. Whenever you see, even in the Old Testament, when you see Israel and Judah mentioned, it's now talking about northern and southern. But like here, what in this context is telling you that Israel here does not mean Israel, like all of Israel?
You answer that pretty easy.
Okay, well, yeah, what word? What word?
When you get to verse 7 and it says, but the election have obtained it and the rest were blind. What are they? They're blind from believing in Christ, right?
Yeah, the election of what and the blinded of what and the rest of what?
So the blinded are people that don't believe in Israel, right? I mean, believe in Christ, right?
Yeah, but the when it says the rest and the election of
I,
what?
I'm telling you, the rest that are blinded, this blinded are they don't believe in Christ, right?
Yeah, they don't see the truth. Yeah,
Was everybody around? Was all of Israel around to believe on Christ?
that's not the criteria of belief. It's just you either
Just
believe
answer
or
the
you
question.
don't.
Just answer the question. Was everybody around?
Yeah, but
So
even then in Romans 10, Paul says, how can they believe in whom they have not heard?
that's
Right.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm asking them.
So
In verse 7,
so it
how can
does
the
make a distinction.
no, you good, bro? Go ahead.
Yeah, it does make a distinction because they haven't heard of Christ to even have a chance to believe on it.
Yeah. But even then, it's not saying because they have not heard, therefore there is no state of unbelief. It doesn't say that.
So if you're
Right.
around, so the people that wasn't around, they're blind too. Then
Yes. Because they don't like when you okay,
how
think
you
about it.
never
Look, but
even
just look,
you
think about
never
it logically.
even seen
Wait.
Christ or heard about Christ? How are you blind?
Exactly. You have not seen or heard of the truth, therefore you're blinded to the truth. Is that logical? Wait, let's say this. Let's put this in a comparison. Somebody who has never seen or heard of Christ in their entire life, right? This is also compared to somebody who's never actually been able to see their whole life. Is that person considered not blinded because they couldn't see at one point?
I'm no, because actually when you go into this Greek lexicon, the word there means to become dull or
Right.
to basically lose power of understanding. You can't lose power of understanding if you never even had a chance to understand.
Which word are you looking at? Blinded?
The word for blinded, yeah.
All right, let me look at that. Sorry, this is small.
It's like it's no way for a person to be blind, but they never even heard about Christ. So how is he blind? He just doesn't know. He's not blind. Dullness, hardness. So if you have hardness of heart, that means you rejected Christ. To reject Christ, you had a choice to either accept Christ or not accept Christ. So therefore, that blinded cannot mean all of Israel, because all of
Okay.
Israel wasn't around when Christ walked around.
So, okay, so let me ask in the same breath, this is just a little sidebar. In the same breath, a Gentile who has never seen or heard of Christ, are they in this same category of they're not really blinded? Like what happens to these people if they never see or hear Christ? Like let's say Israel. Let's start with Israel. If an Israelite never sees or hears of Christ, where do they go?
What do you mean, where does he go?
Like will we make a judgment call and say he goes to hell or he goes to heaven? Like where would he most likely
I
go?
can't make a judgment because the brother hasn't even made a decision if he rejects Christ or accepts Christ.
Okay,
And and then again, that would be up to God. That wouldn't be up to me.
but based on the book, based on the text of what God tells us, who will and will not enter into the kingdom, would they
Well, if we're
enter
going
into the
based off the
kingdom?
book, everybody it's going to be a time where everybody's going to hear about Christ. So therefore, if everybody's going to hear about Christ, that means they had a choice to either reject Christ or accept Christ.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right, let's move forward. Okay,
I had a question though before we move from this. Who do
yeah.
you say the election is to, according to your understanding?
Who is the election to, or who are the elect?
Well, shoot, who are the elect? Especially with verse 7.
Yeah.
Because
So
from I'm just trying to piece. I know I came in a little late. I'm trying to piece here. So you believe verse 7 is all of Israel, including the elect, or it's a
yeah,
separate elect that includes the Gentiles?
so it's speaking about Israel. So it says, "What then Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for." So the overall subject in verse 7 is Israel. And he says, but the election of Israel has obtained it, and the rest of Israel were blinded. The rest just literally means everybody else inside of this category of Israel that's not elect. They were blinded. And it doesn't speak about whether they heard the truth or not, which is interesting because I thought, sidebar, I thought you guys believed in predestination, maybe a different form of predestination, and we could definitely talk about that another time. Um,
Wait a
but yeah,
minute.
that's my view on it.
Okay.
Let's
So
read it.
is the rest the subject in verse 11?
Is the rest the subject in verse 11?
Yeah, those that were blinded.
Yeah.
Okay, so those that are blinded are those that should fall, but God forbid. Rather, through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles for to
Right.
provoke them to jealousy. Now, if the fall of them, the same people that are blinded, be the riches of the world and the diminishing of the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So, all of this in context is talking about those who were blinded in comparison to those who was chosen, right? Is that your? I just want to get your understanding before we move
Yeah.
forward.
And the full understanding of it too is when you look at the blinded, it says everybody else outside of the elect was blinded in Israel. So this is including all Israel. It literally says everybody else. Just go ahead and look at this word rest. It means remaining. All that remains in a given category. Everything else, everything that's left. Um, so if that's true, if the rest outside of the elect are blinded, then this is containing all Israel. All other parties are therefore not Israel, unless said otherwise. So I wanted to get down here to verse 13. So when Paul says, I speak to you, Gentiles, and as much as I'm an apostle of the Gentiles, I magnify mine office. You guys agree that when he says this word you, he's directly addressing his audience that he's writing to? Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when he uses, let me just read the next verse. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh and might save some of them. When he uses this word them, this is denoting people outside of his audience, correct?
So talking about not the you, just other people, right?
Right. Like if I was talking to you and I said, hey, Oz, do you want to go and we go play my team and hoop with them? Clearly, I'm not talking to my team, them. That would be outside of me and you conversation, right?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay. So you guys agree with that, that when he says them, that's outside of his audience, the Gentiles?
Well, that's why I asked you who did you believe the context was talking about? The
Yeah.
them there is still in relation to those who was blinded, which
Right.
our understanding is the elders of Israel on that. That is our understanding. Now,
Okay.
that's
My
why I'm trying to say,
understanding
what is your understanding? It has to be all of Israel.
it encompasses more. No. The blinded are not all of Israel. The blinded are everybody else in Israel outside of the elect. Maybe no. Give me some time. Give me some time here.
Yeah, I would have to
I disagree with that
disagree.
heavily.
Okay. So do you have another definition of this word rest?
Well, rest, when I look at the definition, it says that it's not a specific number or class of people.
Okay. Were you looking at blue letter?
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull that up.
It says the rest who are not of the specific class or number.
Right. The rest who are not of the specific class. The specific class is Israel. So rest, everybody else is using the same word as we would use it. The rest of any number or class under consideration.
Under consideration. So the
That's
consideration
Israel.
is, hold on, the consideration is all of Israel isn't there. That's what I'm trying to, that's what I keep saying.
No. When it says under consideration, it means the topic that you're talking about. So the topic is Israel. There's no indication this is Israel only in Judea, only in a certain locale. It literally, Paul just says Israel. That's
But
it.
the problem is, if you're saying, so just the rest of Israel, period, are blind and rejected Christ.
Outside of the elect, correct. That's what Paul says.
That's just really just not true. It's historically that's not true.
So history can prove blindness. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, if I'm telling a story and I understand the history of it, then that means I know the context of what you're speaking in. Paul can't be again, he can't be saying all of the rest of Israel are blinded, because Paul still knows that all of Israel doesn't even know who Christ is. What Tazarop said in verse 10, he said, how could they even know about Christ if nobody taught them? In Romans 10, like, that literally makes no sense on how you're trying to make the rest of Israel blinded, but it's like they weren't even around to be blind or to accept.
And this is what leads to that question I was asking. When we look at things, you either, like, when it comes to the truth, let's say I'm an unbeliever, right? I'm blinded to the truth, but I've read the Bible, but I'm just blinded to the truth, right? Is that a correct assumption? If I've read the text and I don't believe in the text, I'm blinded.
But you had a chance to read the text. What about somebody that's never opened the Bible, has no idea what it's about? Is he blind?
Right. But look, the point is,
is that person
wait, let me walk you through my analogy. My point is
can you at least answer that question quick? If a person has never opened the Bible, has no idea what the Bible is even about, is he blind?
Here, go. I need a couple minutes.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Here, I need a couple minutes. Go.
That's what I need to understand. Do you consider a person that's like never read the Bible or heard anything about Christ, he's blind?
Yeah, because okay, when you look at blinded, it's about not seeing the truth, right? It it doesn't entail a rejection of anything. It only says you don't see the truth, right? Or you don't see the light. Is that correct?
I mean, I don't interpret it like that. That's kind
If
of
so-
weak.
okay, if somebody's blinded, light doesn't pass through their eyes, right?
Yeah, but
Like
what
literally,
if you're not around light?
okay, then light's not passing through your eyes. You can't see. If you're not around light, you can't see. Therefore, you're blinded,
Yeah,
right?
we keep going in circles,
Yeah,
right?
bro.
So
Look,
Look,
because this is
your
my
definition.
point.
Look, we just
But
gonna move
wait,
on. Your definition of blinded is if you haven't heard it or if you haven't accepted. That's not our definition. We're not holding it, bro. That's kind of silly.
when we read,
okay, but this is my point, real quick. If we're gonna say that there's a category outside of seeing truth and not seeing truth, I want to know what that category is called. And you guys do all this explaining instead of just saying this is what it is, and
It's
it
not
doesn't
like
make
we
it
never
doesn't
have.
make any
Yeah,
sense.
Nobody's ever had. Go ahead, bro.
I'm just gonna say we put our position on the table. Those that are blinded are those who rejected Christ, specifically the elders of it. That's our position.
That's his position. That's not everybody.
And we
Okay,
know that
but
because those of the election are those who were conformed to the image of Christ. That's Romans 8 and
well,
29.
okay. Were there more people outside of the leaders of Israel that rejected Christ?
There were few, but that's not prophecy. The
Was
prophecy
it
was
was
that
it a few or a lot?
there was a lot that believed on him.
A lot that believed. How many people showed up of his followers? How many people showed up to his crucifixion?
You tell me how many.
Two out of the 12.
that
And
doesn't mean
when
that doesn't mean that a lot of people didn't believe, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. It doesn't
okay,
even give a specific number on
You would
believing,
literally be saying that only 2 people believed on Christ.
and that's
okay.
different.
No, that's not my point. I'm saying you're saying that he had all of these followers, but when it came to killing him or what is it, Barabbas, who decided that? Was it the chiefs and the rulers of Israel, or was it the people?
Yeah, no, I do want to touch on something that you just said, though. Was Peter there?
Peter was there. He left though.
He left, right? So he
Yeah.
wasn't there at one point. Does that mean that he no longer believed?
No. That's not. That wasn't my look. You're straw man. That wasn't my
Yeah,
point.
yeah, no,
But
no.
listen,
Is
listen.
Peter blind now?
You said a
Nah, bro.
lot of people.
Hold on,
You
hold
said
on, hold on. Hold
look.
on,
You
me. Hold
said,
on,
but
no.
wait.
Hold on, me.
Hold up.
No, hold on. I need that answer. You pressured me on that. Good question, Tazarop. When Peter left, is Peter blinded?
When Peter denied Christ, yes, Peter was blinded.
Okay.
But then he came back and saw the light. This is why Christ asked him, "Do you love it? Do you love me?" He asked him 3 times, and this was his forgiveness, his welcoming back into the fold. Because when something like that happens and you reject even knowing the Messiah, that's bearing false witness on the Son of God. You think if Peter never came back from that and got forgiven by Christ and actually repented, do you think he would have been still in
So
the same position?
was Peter part of the rest were blinded in verse 7 in Romans 11?
No, because at this point, Peter's already past this point. Peter's way past the point of Christ coming back and already talking to him. This
So
letter was written way after.
Okay,
So
so if somebody does the same thing that Peter did and did not believe on him, would he be part of that rest was blinded part?
Do they repent?
Now I'm asking you.
No. It's your analogy. I'm asking you. Did the person repent?
I didn't add that in the story.
Okay, if you don't add that in the story, I can't give you any type of summation. If there's no,
That's fine.
if you
Can we
don't,
just
if
get
you
back
don't,
to
but
Romans?
listen. If
I
you
got
don't
you.
know if they repent or not,
We just get back to the Romans, bro.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go off analogies. That's
Yeah,
why I
bro.
said the prophecy.
he brought up the analogy. But
Yeah,
look,
no, that's why I
he
said
brought
let's
up
just
the
keep moving.
analogy, and he's asking me
Okay.
to. He's
Brother
asking me
Meeks.
about his own analogy. Like I'm just
Okay,
like,
that's fine. That's fine, brother Meeks.
That's why I
We
didn't.
could.
okay, all right. So
Answer
That's,
look, let me land my plane in verse 14. And let me get
okay,
you
hold
guys'
on.
thoughts on this.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Hey,
I can
yeah, hold up.
Yeah,
Yeah, D.
that's
Let me
why I didn't want to go into any analogy. I said prophecy was
Yeah.
that the chief scribes and elders was going to reject him. That's the only thing that matters. Why is that? Romans 11, verse 11 answers why is that. That's
D, it
why the
was
whole
also more. It was more than just the rulers. It was the people too that would reject Christ.
is that in prophecy?
Yes, Isaiah 53.
Bring
He
it
was
out.
despised and rejected of men.
Bring
Right.
it out.
So did Christ identify who those men were?
Did Christ identify who those men were?
Yeah.
Let's just read it.
Okay.
He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And we hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised and we esteemed him not. So when Isaiah is writing, is he writing to all the people of Israel, or is he writing only to the chief priest and the chief scribe, or the rulers of Israel? Who's he writing to?
He's writing to Israel about the chief scribes and Pharisees. Somebody give me
Okay,
Mark 8,
where do you get?
31.
Wait. Where do you get
it?
Mark 8 and 31.
No. From here.
We're gonna get it out of the Messiah's mouth.
No. You said Isaiah is speaking about. Wait.
Verse
Hold
3.
up. Wait. Slow down.
Verse 3. I'm answering your question.
We were answering the question.
Wait. Let me actually ask the question. What word is telling you that these are the rulers of Israel in Isaiah 53?
Rejected.
Okay,
Rejected of men.
So you're saying men here are the chief priests, and they're the only ones that rejected Christ.
They are the ones who had the power and authority to reject Christ and to kill him.
Wait.
8 and 31.
Wait. No. It doesn't say. No. Are they the only ones that rejected Christ? Yes or no?
Are they the only ones? No. Are they the ones that matter?
Okay, they're not the only ones. So therefore, it's not just about them. All right, let's just move back to the actual.
Hold on. Somebody get Mark 8 and 31.
Can we get to Mark 8 and 31?
Hold up. I literally just went to Isaiah 53 to show you guys that it's not just a look. Listen,
we're cool with that.
You're isolating one verse. That's what you're doing.
No. I'm adding it with. I'm not. Listen. Wait. Calm down. I'm not saying the chief priests did not reject Christ. I'm saying they were not the only ones. Therefore, if I show that there's more than just them, my point stands. Doesn't matter what you guys bring out. You guys are going to bring out the part about the chief priests and the scribes. I get that. That is not my point, that it's not them. I'm saying it's them and other people.
But right. So let me explain.
Yeah, read the verse, bro. This is crazy.
Yeah. Go ahead, read the verse, man.
The reason why it's important, because if they did accept him, he would never have died. Everybody else could have rejected him, but if the chief priests and scribes accepted him, Christ would have never died.
There was no if, though. They would have always rejected him.
We know that.
According to what?
Yeah.
According to what?
According to the text.
Which text? What
text?
What book? What chapter?
That Christ, Revelations, that Christ is the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. That God hath from the beginning. Isaiah 46 and 10. God hath declared the end from the beginning, and things from ancient times, things that have not been seen yet. Saying, my counsel shall stand.
What about
Psalm? I got a precept. After we read the Mark 9 and or 8 and 31.
Get the Mark 8 so we can show our position.
Right. Mark 8 and then we just gonna come back to Romans 11 and
well, no, because I have one more precept after Mark 8. If that is,
all right, we'll wrap this up and then we'll go back to Romans 11.
Let's get into some scriptures, dog.
Okay, Mark 8 and 31. And he began to teach them that the Son of Man must suffer many things and be rejected of the elders and of the chief priests and scribes and be killed, and after 3 days rise again.
So
right,
Christ literally taught that the main people that was supposed to reject him was the scribes.
Yeah, I didn't say that they didn't reject him.
So you implying that other people reject those don't matter, because if they did reject him, if the scribes and Pharisees didn't reject him, it doesn't matter what the common folks believe or what they want to do.
Yeah, so
but again, I think you guys missed my point because I clarified it before you even read it. I said I did not.
We get that other people rejected him as well.
Tazara. Wait, hold up. Tazara. Hold up. So
I was reading a verse, and then my brother elaborated, and then I was going to read another verse. So we can finish this verse.
Yeah. But he strawman my position. I never said that the chief priests.
No, we didn't strawman. It's on the topic.
We're not saying that you did say that. That's the problem. You're not understanding.
But look, this is the point. This is the point. You guys are bringing this back over to say those who were blinded were only the chief priests and scribes. Is that correct?
In this context. Romans 11. Yes, in Romans 11. That's the context.
They're the only ones that were blinded.
In regards to Romans 11. Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, well, they prove it wrong.
Okay. Go ahead, read your verse. Where you at?
So, just to clarify about many people believing, John 6:15, when Jesus therefore perceived that they would come and take him by force to make him a king, he departed again into a mountain himself alone. So there were a lot of people who literally had the power to make him a king, but he rejected that because it wasn't his time. So there were a lot of people who tried to do that. So there were plenty of people who wanted to make him king. Does that mean all of them believed outside the scribes and Pharisees? No, that's not our position. And we're not saying that you're saying that give me 1 second.
And that's a great precept you got on the screen. I don't
Yeah,
know if they're 29 or not.
Yeah.
Since you're here, read verse 10 for me.
Yeah, I'm getting to it. I'm trying to read down to it. This doesn't wonder, cry out and cry out. They are drunken, but not with wine, and staggered, but not with strong drink. For the Lord hath poured upon you the spirit of slumber, spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers, the seers, hath he covered. Right.
Doesn't Paul
Right.
quote that in verse 8? In Romans 11?
But listen, but wait, listen.
Huh?
When he mentions, listen. Calm down. You guys are so excited.
I'm not
He
excited.
mentions
I'm just
you
saying
won't even let me get this off. I'm literally trying to break it down.
Okay.
So he says the prophets, the rulers, and the seers, he's covered their eyes. But if you read the beginning of verse 10, he says the Lord hath poured upon you the spirit of deep sleep and hath closed your eyes. So who is Isaiah speaking to? Because he mentions the prophets, rulers, and seers outside of his audience. So
it's the prophets, the rulers, and the seers.
No, he mentions them outside of his audience. Why would he say the Lord has closed your eyes, the prophets, the rulers, the seers? He says your rulers.
It has a
Who's
colon.
the your?
It has a colon, and that colon, this sentence right here, explains that sentence.
Yeah, but it says the prophets and your rulers. Who's the your?
The people that we've been talking about.
Israel, right?
It'd be the chief scribes and Pharisees, like we just said. Those are our rulers.
No. Those are the rulers, right? But who's the your? It says your rulers. Who is the your?
Israel's rulers?
No. Okay, Israel, right? The people, right?
No, it's talking about Israel's rulers.
The people of Israel, right?
And of the people of Israel, who is he talking about?
Bruh.
Like
he's talking. Look.
You're playing right now, bro.
Okay. Listen.
I love you, Meech, but you playing, bro.
Okay. If I said, okay, listen.
I want you to know that, bro.
Okay. When he says, hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers, is the your the same as the rulers, or does it have to be different? Because yours is
the context is the prophets, your rulers, the seers, bro. I don't. It does not get any deeper than that.
But your points to another person outside of the rulers, does it not? If I said, hey, this is your bottle, am I saying you're the bottle?
That's if you gave me the sentence like that, this is your bottle.
Okay, if I said your brother.
Again, that's the sentence.
Are you your brother? Are you?
If you say
wait, hold up. Wait, let I speak. Let I speak. No, let I speak. I'm talking about
I can speak for me. That's my brother. Go ahead, bro.
Right.
All right, go ahead.
If I say I poured poison in your water,
right?
Am I pouring poison in you or the water?
That's my point. You're pouring poison in my water, right? So when he says,
hold on, slow down.
It was just a yes or a no. It was just a yes or a no.
Hold up. Let me get it off because you just made my point. Hold up, let me get it off. You just made my point.
Meech, you can make your point, bro, but you let me establish mine. I don't be speaking that much. So if I say I pour poison in your water, that means when it says I covered your prophets, did he cover Israel or the prophets?
He covered both. He literally says,
can't-
listen, wait, listen. No. Wait.
No.
You,
That's
no.
crazy.
Wait. Everybody stop talking. Stop.
You playing, bro?
He says, for the Lord hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep and hath closed your eyes. We already agreed
What's
that
the next
your
verse?
wait. Stop.
What's the next line say?
Stop.
Hey,
We
man, you might as
already
well move
agreed.
on, brother.
Hold
No.
up.
Read the next line.
Hold it. Oh, chill.
Read the next line.
Chill out. We already agreed that your and the object are not the same thing. So when he goes on to say the prophets and your rulers, the you is not the rulers. Case
Is yours
closed.
in the Hebrew?
Hey, look, case closed.
Is yours in the Hebrew?
That's crazy.
Is my what
Is
you
your
say?
right there? Is your right there? Is that in the Hebrew?
Let's look at it.
And I would just say contextually, it's talking about the city of Jerusalem and its inhabitants, and then specifically its rulers. So the chief scribes and Pharisees.
Yeah, your is in the Hebrew. Look at the word Rashechem, the chem on the last part of the word. That's the your.
If you go into
Because it's
the word for it, because it's all connected. Your rulers, it really means like head. So like your head people.
that's what do you think a ruler is? Yeah, I don't disagree with that. So let's just move on
Talking
because
about the rulers and the prophets. We good. We can move on.
yeah, cool. All right. So in verse 14, when he says, if by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh and might save some of them. When Paul says them which are my flesh, them is a group outside of his audience, correct?
Them refers to the people that's blinded in verse 7. So
Yeah, we just said that earlier.
Right.
Talking about Israel.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Ayash.
Right. So, okay. So when Paul says my flesh and he's speaking to people, is he including them or excluding them from this category?
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do this. If I said, hey,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't want no more like analogies. Like let's just
I'm gonna use the same. I'm gonna use the same word though. I'm gonna use the same word that's used here. I'm gonna use my, and I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be like, hey, D, do you want to go hoop with my team?
No.
If I said that versus if I said, hey, look, you gotta. If y'all don't want to answer, that's fine, but you gotta stop cutting me off, okay?
Can you read the text and ask a better question? That's what I'm asking.
All right, cool. If by any means I may provoke to emulation them which are my flesh. When Paul says my flesh, is he including his audience in this?
in this context,
In the word my, when he says my.
his audience is to these Gentiles who we believe is Israel. So no. Flesh he's talking about are the Jews that were in Jewry.
Okay,
specifically
so
scribes, Pharisees, and the rulers.
Okay, so now Israel has different. How many flesh does Israel have? Look, eyes. Wait, hold up. Eyes. Wait. Eyes. You know, I asked you this at the beginning. You said, "Oh, Israel is one flesh." Now, because we have, you muted. Hey, you muted.
Yeah, you muted.
Eyes. You muted. Run it back.
Oh, you asked me what determines an Israelite. I said somebody that descends from Jacob.
No, I didn't. I said
yes, I did. Tazarab, didn't I say it's people that descend from Jacob? You asked me what do I think of Israelite. So if you're talking about flesh, I said, well, if we talking about flesh, we believe that the people that descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are the Israelites. You didn't ask me about this.
But then I clarified after you said that. I said, so that means that they would be one flesh. What'd you say?
Yeah, but
yes, but you didn't ask me about this verse though. That's what I'm saying.
That's why
you just asked a regular question.
But look, if you understand that Israel is one flesh, it doesn't matter what.
That does not mean if you ask me a question on this verse, I'm gonna answer the same. So don't do that, brother. Ask the question. straight upon how you want it to be answered. I asked it straight. Now, if you want to go into this verse, the answer might be different.
Okay, so in what way are the rulers of Israel, in what way do they have a different flesh from these Gentiles?
Sir, you got to stop doing that, bro.
You guys said this,
You got to
right?
read the text and then
I
ask
just
the
want to
question
read
based
the
on the
text
text.
instead of asking on
Stop
this.
doing that.
I did. Wait. Look, I did. You guys said that
No,
Paul
we
is.
answered,
No,
we
wait.
answered the
Hold up.
question,
Hold
and
up.
then you went to your analogy, your bugged out analogy, and try to change it up to make it fit what you want to teach. That's what you're doing.
Okay, I'm gonna read it again.
We
I'm gonna
already
ask
said,
the
bro,
question.
the question gonna be the same. The my flesh that he's talking about is the chiefs, scribes, and the rulers, bro.
Okay, where do you get that from?
Because that's what it's talking about, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
what we said. We're gonna interpret the Bible off of prophecy, what Dawala was trying to speak to you about. So we're not gonna just say, oh, this is just that and that. No, we have to go off of what is the context and how does the Bible align up with that?
Okay.
You're asking,
Okay.
what does flesh mean? It means flesh. See, I got you, man. That's flesh. It's like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Come on,
Yeah,
Meech. I thought you was minister. Meech, that ain't a minister. That's
But
not
look,
a minister.
but wait. How does being a ruler set your flesh apart from other Israelites? Let's say, for instance, I'll give you a better example. You have Israelites in Jewry. Some are priests and rulers. Some are not. What separates them in the flesh?
Now, if a priest comes up, right, and he's from Aaron, and he's speaking about, well, my brother's from my flesh, he probably is separating himself from the other Israelites. He's talking about the Aaronites. So you can do that, bro.
How would they be different flesh if they all come from Abraham?
See, yeah, did I ask a crazy question or did that not make sense? Let me know.
I get it. This brother's blinded like Paul's talking about.
He trying to focus
All right.
on they all one flesh. One flesh. I'm like, brother,
Okay.
you know the context that it's speaking in. It's pointing to a specific people.
Okay. All right. So what do you
You
guys
like read the text
postulation on
again
this?
and
Like
Ayash, let me ask you this. Ayash.
Go ahead. Ask.
So what do you believe who do you believe these Gentiles are?
which ones? In this chapter?
Verse 13.
Verse 13. Where's verse 13 now? I don't know what type of Bible you're looking at, but it got all these U's and UW's and you read all this commentary. Like this is
Where do you see commentary? This is literally King James Version. You want me to highlight it for you?
Yeah, because I can't. The Gentiles are the Gentiles that are in Rome, which are the Israelites.
Okay. So were there actual Gentiles who were non-Israelites in Rome?
That he's writing to, or just there in general? Of course, they're there.
In general.
Of course.
Okay. Can you prove that this word Gentile only means the Israelites here?
Yeah.
Go for it.
First and foremost, this is the book of Romans, right?
Yeah.
So that means the audience is the same in every chapter, correct?
I don't agree with that.
All right. So he's changing audience per chapter.
Well, Paul literally says he speaks to Jews in certain contexts, and then he says he speaks to Gentiles. Would you say that's the same context? That's the same audience?
It's talking about the Church of Rome, sir.
Yeah, but are Jews and Gentiles the same audience?
In this book, yes.
So Jews and Gentiles are the same people.
Sir.
Church of Rome, right?
In Romans, the book of Romans is about, Israelites. Period. That's why you just disagreed that.
Yeah, you got to prove that.
From chapter 1
that's your presupposition.
No, it's not, sir. That's why you just disagree with me saying that every chapter is different. How? When it's talking about Romans.
Just prove it. Just go to the text and prove it. Prove that these Gentiles right here are only Israelites and not non-Israelites.
Are Romans Gentiles?
No. I said prove it from the text. Just show me.
Are Romans? We're reading the book of Romans, sir. Are Romans Gentiles?
Brother, all I need you to do is just prove it. Just make
Can
your
you
case.
answer the question, sir?
I just need you to make your case. Like, I'm giving you
So,
time right now
all right,
to make your case.
I'm
Convince
going
me.
to clarify then. So Romans 11 and 13, you want me to isolate this verse and say, are these Gentiles, regular Gentiles or Jews included? Is that what you're saying?
You ain't got to isolate the verse. I want to know if you can
And
prove
that's why
that
this did. I told you the book of Romans is about Gentiles, but they're Jews. That's why I just told you.
So do you want an answer in the specific verse? I mean, the specific chapter.
No, it don't got to be in the same chapter. It's the same book. I want
But
you to prove.
you
Look, but
see-
listen.
Can
But
I-
listen.
Can I just read verse 16? Because he playing.
He's playing, bro. I just told you it's the same audience every chapter. You said no. Why are you playing the game?
No, I'm
Why
not
you-
playing the game. You just look. You're just saying something. I'm asking you just to prove it.
No,
Go
I
in the
asked
book.
you, is
Ayash.
the same audience in Romans 11 the same as from chapter 1 through 11? You said no. He's talking to Jews in certain chapters and Gentiles in certain chapters.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And my answer
Yeah.
was
And what?
they're all Israelites.
And when I was asking you to prove that these Gentiles are only Israelites and not okay, let me ask this. Let me ask a better question. In all of Romans, when Paul uses this word Gentiles, is he only speaking of Israelites, or is he also including non-Israelites in this definition?
You'd have to point out a particular context, sir.
Romans, I think chapter 2. Let me take this down.
See how you're playing the game again?
What game? I'm asking. I said that this is my question. I said in all of Romans, does Paul ever use the word Gentiles to refer to people who are non-Israelites in all of the book of Romans?
I mean, I don't know everything by heart, so you have to give me the context. We can get your verse, because this is just going in circles. Like, we're not even getting to the chapter.
Romans 2 and 14. Romans 2 and 14. For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, do by nature the things contained in the law, these, having not the law, are a law unto themselves.
How does that
What's
prove
the
that
question?
they're non-Israelite?
Yeah, like
Are you asking me if those are Israelites or not?
Right.
Those are Israelites.
Those are Israelites.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're without the law. They don't have the law.
Yeah, because they're not living in Israel.
So you have to be living in Israel to have the law.
No, but
not necessarily, but that's like me. Like my brother, he's a Christian. He's hated shrimp since he was a kid. You know what the law says about shrimp? You can't eat it. So he's keeping the law, not knowing the law. That's what it's talking about. My brother's an Israelite because I believe we're Israelites. It's just that simple. It's just that simple, sir. People go around blindly following the law, not eating pork, not eating shrimp, not eating abominations because they just don't like it. They don't believe in the Israelite doctrine, but they're Israelites by blood. It's just that. It's just that simple, sir.
I would also like to say the law in context here is talking about the laws of Moses.
The laws of Moses. Okay, so my question is, do you have to be in a certain locale to have the laws of Moses, or can I be in Babylon and have the law of Moses?
You don't even have to do all that. Was the laws of Moses written for everybody, or only for Israel?
No, they're written for other people.
Even you admitted last time we talked that the laws of Moses wasn't written for heathen.
Well, no. Well, for the heathen in particular, because we were talking about, what was it, strangers, right?
Yeah, but you said that the laws wasn't written for the heathen. You said that.
Yeah, the heathen would be, listen. The heathen would be in that context the non-believers. There were non-Israelites.
Okay, so the laws of Moses.
Wait, let me finish it. Wait, let me finish it. The heathen are non-believers, but they were non-Israelites who were believers. So the law would be written for them in Israel.
So the laws of Moses was written for heathens outside of Israel.
No. When you say heathen, that denotes non-believer.
No, I'm using it as let me give you my. I'm using it as somebody that is not an Israelite, that does not descend from Jacob.
Yeah.
The laws of Moses is for them too.
Yeah. It depends on the person, but yeah.
Can you show that?
Yeah, I already did. I showed in Exodus 12, but you guys were saying that stranger there was Israel. So
You
we're just gonna
never
go back.
proved. You never proved it. We showed you
Yeah,
how.
we about to veer off
Yeah, we about
into
to go somewhere.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
real quick,
Oz, Oz. Wait, real quick. Oz.
I'll just cut it short with you. In Romans
Yeah.
chapter 2 and 26, it talks about circumcision of the heart, and circumcision of the heart is an Israelite concept. It's a spiritual concept of circumcising your heart. That's not it. That's not an
So
outside of.
do you have to be in Israel to have your heart circumcised?
No. So listen. Where
I was
was
like,
the
huh?
law? Where was the law in written form? Where was it at?
Where at what time?
Romans 2.
It was all over.
Okay. So if somebody in a Greek province was not around where this law was being read, or was not around where the law was, would they have the law?
Would they have the law? Yeah.
How would they have something that they don't have?
Yeah. Verse 14, for when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. So they have the law, and it literally look, it says verse 15.
Oh
No,
my
wait. Ayash, hold up.
Ooh, that's a terrible breakdown.
Hold up. Verse
Yeah.
15.
Oh
Terrible.
my God,
Terrible.
that is bad.
Hey, y'all got
So,
all these
what-
antics.
you agree?
Look.
You agree
Wait.
that the law that the law was
Wait.
Moses.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Hold it
go
down.
ahead.
Hold it down.
Let him
So
go.
every time I start doing a breakdown, y'all go crazy, all these antics. But when y'all doing stuff, I'm just listening. I'm chill.
No, you're cutting off
But look,
everybody.
y'all got all this extra animation. Ayash always want to cut me off. I was always like,
Sure,
oh
you
man, that's
was quiet for
terrible.
about 30 minutes.
But I'm
until
just
you
chilling.
start sitting down.
But I'm just when y'all break down stuff, I'm chilling.
Minister Meach, let's be real here.
All right,
Just
let
briefly,
me, yeah, but wait,
let me just give you a
yeah.
brief statement real quick.
Hey, but
I was
yeah,
fight-
I said that so I can keep reading.
well,
Ayash.
no problem. Go ahead. You've been cutting everybody off earlier though, but go ahead, brother.
Y'all cut me off left and right, but cool. Verse
What we
15,
doing to
which
say,
shew the
Ty?
work of the law, which shew the work of the law written in their hearts, and their conscience also bearing witness, their thoughts the mean while accusing or else excusing one another. So there's referring back to the Gentiles which have not the law. They have the law written in their hearts. That's how you can have the law but not have the law. To answer your question.
Okay. So I want to go back to verse 14. For when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, meaning they don't have it, but they're naturally doing it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So if they're naturally doing something, but they don't have it, how are you then saying that these are non-Israelites? What does it mean to have the law? What does that mean?
What does it mean to what?
Have the law.
Well, here it's speaking about the law being given directly to them, because these Gentiles are outside of the covenant relation of Israel.
No, you added the whole covenant in there. So when it says that,
okay, so wait, wait.
Listen, I told Oz to stop talking so we can let you finish. I'm
Hey,
talking right
no.
I'm about to
Y'all
go
been
though. That's what I'm
adding.
saying.
Look, y'all been adding all night. It's called
Okay.
hermeneutics. It's called
Okay, that's fine.
hermeneutics.
We
I'm
believe in
asking you
hermeneutics
questions
too.
right now. I'm just asking you questions.
Yeah. But y'all been
So
adding
is
all
it
night. So chill
okay?
with the ad hom. Chill with the ad hom.
I'm asking you questions right now.
Okay.
So it says, verse 13, for not the hearers of the law are just before God,
Right.
but
Are those Israelites?
the doers of the law shall be justified. If you
Are the
don't
hearers of the law? Are the hearers of the law only Israelites?
how you gonna tell Ayash to not talk while you reading the scripture, but when I'm reading the Bible, you interrupted?
Okay. Are those hearers of the law? Are those Israel?
Okay, so let me
Sir,
so
that's
I can
crazy.
we showed you that respect. I'm trying to let's go in that direction to where I'm about to leave because I got to go to camp. For not the hearers of the law are just before God. What does it mean, the hearers of the law? What does that look like?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. Those are only Israel.
We're gonna get there, bro. I'm literally trying to show you something. When you hear the law, does that mean you literally hear it, or is it talking about something else?
Yeah. When you hear the law, does that mean you're only an Israelite?
I'm not asking you that.
This is crazy.
That's my point. Look, that's my point.
No, you playing a game. Answer the question,
you guys,
bro.
Okay.
If you're trying to do it like us, you ain't doing it that
So
good.
look. I
Bro,
went here. Wait, hold up. Look, I went here
I
to
gotta
show.
stop. I gotta stop when I showed you the respect. I gotta stop when I'm trying to receive that same respect.
Yeah, all I want you to do
So
is
yeah, I
make your
can't get
point.
that same respect.
Just land your
Again,
plane. Land your plane.
I allowed you to, but when I read the verse, I read 6 words and then you interrupted me. Are you gonna tell me to
All right,
land my
look,
plane when you
I'm gonna go
interrupt
on
me?
mute. Land your
No, no,
plane.
no, no, no. Again, this is a conversation. This is a dialogue, which means it's a back and forth. But the fact is that when I ask you a question, you then go on a rant to teach or ask me a question. No, I just want to know when it talks about the hearers of the law, does that mean they literally heard it?
Yeah, you tell me. Just go ahead and land your plane, bro. I'm gonna go
No,
on
no,
mute.
no, no, no,
I ain't
no.
gonna interrupt. I ain't gonna interrupt. Go
Nah,
ahead.
No,
Go
bro,
ahead.
you might as well
again,
move on.
interrupting is when I'm trying to talk and then you overtalk
What
me. When I
what was
ask
the
you a
reason I
question,
came here?
that's interrupting. That's interrupting.
What was
When
the
I
reason I
ask,
came here?
again, because we're talking, that's besides the point. I'm trying
No,
to
no,
ask you
it's
a
not. It's
question
the
and you're
main
trying to
point.
steer me off. Again,
God.
I ask you a question. When you answer, that's not interrupting. That's just you answering a question. But when I'm talking and then you overtalk me, that's interrupting, right? So when it says, "For not the hearers of the law just before God," what does that mean? Is it mean literally hearing or something else?
Yeah, I was telling you to land your plane. I don't, go ahead. I don't know. Go ahead.
Again,
Oh
my
my
plane,
God.
again, this is a co-pilot, and so I'm trying to fly the plane with you. That's all I'm doing, right? What does it mean? Is it literal or not literal? Does it mean something
Yeah,
else? That's
you
all I'm asking.
look. You've asked me the same question 5 times, and I've just said just land your plane. Because when
Okay,
I ask
okay.
you
So
guys
it's a literal.
questions,
Okay, that's fine.
listen.
I'll land the plane. It's a
Yeah.
literal hearing, right?
Okay.
So they literally hear this law, and it says, "But the doers of the law shall be justified." So just because you hear the law and you're not obeying it, that doesn't mean anything. You have to do it. You have to instinctively do it. So even if you did not hear the law and you do it, that's what makes you justified. So then he says, "For when the Gentiles, which have not the law, they have not heard this law, contextually, do by nature the things that are contained in the law," meaning they naturally do it. So these people who have not heard it, that's what it means that have not the law, not because it wasn't given to them in a covenantal sense, but because they haven't heard it. But I can't walk with you because you don't want to walk with me. I
Okay.
asked for a
So
dialogue. I didn't ask for you to teach and then for me to teach my point, right? Is
yeah.
that wrong?
So
And,
okay. So
and
look.
if I can,
Wait.
add, I don't know. I
Go
just
ahead,
wanted to
D.
add
Go
those
ahead.
same
Yeah. Go
Gentiles
ahead,
getting
D.
judged by them. No, I'm just saying. I'm just gonna add verse 12. It's saying those same Gentiles are being judged by the law. I don't see the heathens getting judged by our laws.
No.
Okay. So as many as have sinned without the law. What is without law? You saying like the Gentiles here are non-Israelites?
Well, you went into another chapter, or are we gonna stay in Romans 2?
Well, I came here to show that Paul uses this word Gentiles for non-Israelites.
Yeah, but
And we proved it wrong just now.
we
So
just
Oh,
proving that
okay.
these Gentiles are Israelites because he just asked. Dawa, can you ask that question again?
Like, no, I'm just saying, like these Gentiles in verse 14 are being judged by the law in verse 12. So, and unless you can prove that
In verse
Gentiles are
12.
being judged in verse Romans 2 and 12, it
Okay,
says,
let's
"And
read
as
it.
many
Yeah.
as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law."
No,
And in verse
wait. Where
14,
are you
for
reading
when
that?
the
Wait.
Gentiles which have not the law,
Read the whole. Wait. Read
I'll
verse
read the
12.
whole
Read the
thing.
whole.
I'll
Yeah.
read the whole thing. Verse 12. For as many as have sinned without law shall also perish without law. And as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. For when the
Okay.
Gentiles, verse 14, for when the Gentiles which have not the law do by nature the things contained in the law, these having not the law are a law unto themselves. These Gentiles are the same ones that's getting referred to back at verse 12. That's why I say you got to show me
Okay.
where heathens are getting judged by our laws.
So D, when it says that they have sinned without law, without means what? That they don't have it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when the Gentiles which have not the law. So I just want to just kind of circle back to I know I'm saying it wrong every time. Tazarop.
Boom, Tazra, just like
All
that.
right, yeah. Look, my cadence is off. So if I
Just call me
mispronounce
Taz. Taz. Just say Taz.
Todd, okay, Todd's cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So the point that you made when you were speaking about you know, hearers of the law, and you were kind of going into that explanation. My whole point of going here was to show that these Gentiles are non-Israelites. And when you look at the fact that they have not heard the law, if you're saying that these are Israelites, you have to include everybody else who has not heard the law as well.
Sir.
Otherwise, you have to show, hey,
He's not answering what Dawala asked him.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You just ran from what he just asked you.
No, it's
already.
It's fine.
That's crazy, bro.
Okay, D, ask your question again. I'm gonna just make sure I answer. D,
precise and plain for him.
D, ask your question again.
Listen, from 14 and 15 is talking about how these Gentiles are basically keeping the law unknowingly. But verse 12 is saying that those that have sinned without the law shall perish without the law, and as many as have sinned in the law shall be judged by the law. And then we see these Gentiles who have not a law, they're still keeping the law. That's why I said for these to be heathens or non-Israelite Gentiles, you have to show non-heathens or non-Israelite Gentiles being judged by the laws of God.
Okay. So do you think that non-Israelites can't sin? Let me ask that, because I think that's where it's coming.
No, bro, we about to go.
Did he answer the question?
Yeah, but I'm trying to answer the question in a way that we can look. But look, hold up.
Hold on, Mitch.
Yeah.
Let's just
wait. No. Let me.
Yeah. No, because you're gonna ask. You're gonna ask.
No. Wait. You don't know what I'm gonna ask. Wait.
You're gonna ask me.
Hold up.
We believe heathens can't sin.
Yes, because that's the logical.
And guess what? And guess what?
Right.
That does not matter. You can answer, but that does not matter. Because if we go into this Hebrew for this law, this is talking about the Mosaic law.
Okay, that's fine.
Again,
and this word, listen,
so
this word Gentile, Let me answer these questions.
He's asking you, are these Gentiles going to be judged? Or can you show us Gentiles that are not Israelites being judged by the laws of Moses?
Okay, so when we read verse Romans 2 and 12, when it says, for as many as have sinned without law, this is those who don't have the law. For when Gentiles, which have not the law, they do not fit the second description. Those who have the law are the Jews. I don't know why that's so funny. It's literally there. When you say something, when you say you are without something, it means you don't have it. You don't possess it.
In the same context.
But wait. I answered. Hold up. I answered. Wait.
Mosaic law.
All right. Wait. Hold up.
So
I answered D's question. This was D's question. Unbiased, you got anything to say, man? Unbiased been in here kind of just listening in. I want to see if you got anything.
Unbiased sports? Oh my God.
Why can't you post my video when you got cut on the virgin birth, bro?
Well, hey, we can talk about that later, man. We can talk about that later. I like where we at. I'm just playing. I like where we at. I like where we at. Right? So
you guys are somewhere far left.
I'm just playing with you. I'm just playing with you. I can not see you.
It's all good. I'm not.
So Mr. Meach, I was gonna say because we can keep talking about Romans 2 because I definitely have more on that. But if not, we can go back to Romans 11 because I do have a question about Romans 11 pertaining to these Gentiles, specifically verse 15 and 16. But I'll talk about 15. I know Oz talked about 16.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay quiet and listen because if I was to talk, y'all will be somewhere totally left. So I'm just gonna listen.
Yeah, just leave then. But
I didn't. You kind of broke up on my end.
It's good. Just
go. So Mr. Meach, right? Verse 15. Yeah. It says, "For if the casting away of them be the reconciling of the world, what shall the receiving of them be but life from the dead?" So what world here is being reconciled?
Well, this word cosmos is only used for Gentiles people. Like this word is literally a Gentile word. It has nothing to do with Israel. Israel's always referred to as Israel.
Okay, so which Gentile?
Non-Israelites.
Okay, so non-Israelites are being reconciled back to God?
Yeah.
So when were they ever walking with God?
Through Adam, through the patriarchs.
Okay, but
even world?
Yeah. So
that's kind of problematic because even Adam was chosen and others weren't.
Yeah, but through Adam, all mankind fell, right?
Right, and then after Adam,
so when Adam sinned, the spiritual relationship between man and God was broken.
Are you done? I don't want to like talk over you. I don't
No,
want
go for it.
Okay, yeah,
No, go
yeah.
for it.
So after Adam, you had Noah.
No, I was
And
asking about Adam, though.
huh?
My question was about Adam.
Right. But there was other people besides Adam that God didn't choose. Do you agree with that?
No, I'm aware of that, but my question was with Adam. When Adam sinned, was the spiritual relationship between man and God broken?
Between the men that God chose, yes.
I wouldn't know what spiritual relationship you're talking about, because that's just a broad statement.
Yeah, it's broad, but I'm just
Okay.
walking with I'm just walking with you because all of that's cool until you get to Noah and his
Okay.
sons. You
So do you
still have a chosen lineage, even when Noah and his sons.
Okay.
So
So
when were they walking with God?
do you believe that there's a spiritual relationship that can either live or die when you're walking on earth, right?
Can you go back to answer his question?
Well, I'm trying to clarify my question. He asked me, what do I mean by spiritual relationship being broken?
I didn't ask you that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, this is my original question. I'm waiting for this to be answered. So I'm kind of really not moving forward until we kind of get that answer.
Well,
You're
I want
asking me for
to
my
clarify
understanding.
what you just referenced. That's what I'm asking you for. What is a
you
spiritual
asking-
relationship? What is give me a context of spiritual relationship with God?
Okay, you don't believe we have a spiritual relationship with God?
Give me an example.
All right, Ayash, I'm not talking to you. Just answer my question regarding Adam.
Regarding Adam?
Yeah. So was there a relationship between man and God that was broken, whether you call it spiritual or not?
That relationship was to a chosen lineage or race under Adam. Yes.
That wasn't my question.
And that was broken.
Okay,
That was broken.
that relationship was broken. Did all men outside of Israel come from Adam?
They all came from Adam, but after Adam, it was still a difference.
That's fine. That's cool. But they all came from Adam. Okay.
Well, here's the thing, right? We talking about reconciliation and when they were walking with God. So first of all, do you agree that there was other people besides Adam?
No, Adam was the first man. Adam was first man.
So you don't believe that there was any other?
If we disagree with that,
yeah. If we disagree, that's fine. I'm just trying to get your where you come from, because I don't believe that. I believe there was other people, and God chose Adam. That's what I believe. You believe Adam was the only person. It was Adam and then Eve, and then somehow their sons got with other people. That's what you believe.
Well, they had sons and daughters.
They had sons and daughters?
Yeah.
Where did they have a daughter? You know what? We ain't even going.
Yeah, they're not all mentioned, but go to Genesis 5. Genesis 5 and verse 4, it says Adam and Eve had sons.
Yeah, he believes in incest. He believes in incest.
Yeah, that's why I said we ain't even
okay. Yeah. So Abraham and Sarah, were they siblings?
Sir, we're getting away from the topic. I mean, that's your belief. You believe the Most High because incest. That's ridiculous. You believe in incest, sir. That's crazy.
Meech, don't say that, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, that is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's Christianity, but of course, I mean, you're a Christian.
So who? Wait. So okay, are we saying incest is just direct sisters, or is this cousins too? Because that's how it's defined in our world today. If that's true, if that's true, Abraham is guilty of it. Who else? Isaac is guilty of it. So many other people, because they married within the family to not marry the idolaters, because everybody else was an idolater.
That's crazy.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I did not know you guys is I did not know you guys is listen. I didn't wait. Hold up. Hold it down. Crazy, I did not know you guys' ideology was this twisted where you don't even understand basic biblical exegesis of Genesis. Bro.
Can you just
you guys are saying
man.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You believe in incest, bro. That's sick. You're sick.
He's about to ramble on something else that we are not talking about.
Yeah, like I'm trying to get back to Romans 11. And just briefly, based on Romans 11, and I don't know why you.
Hey, Ayash, I just want to talk to D. Yeah. You could go on mute, Ayash.
I mean,
yeah.
So Ayash, why am I here?
You can leave, bro. I just want to talk to D.
All right, you just get cut up by them. It's all good. I'll just leave.
That's cool, bro. That's cool. Hey, D, what was your question, man?
All right. So to me, bro, that understanding doesn't jive because, like I said, we see. Well, you believe that that's his children, but you see other people during the time of Adam,
Mhm.
and you see Adam being chosen. After Adam, let's say, okay, you're understanding only Adam. After Adam, when Noah and his sons came, there still was a chosen lineage of people, which was Shem. And then from
Right.
there, we all know it becomes Abraham and then eventually Israel. So I gotta see when was the heathen walking with God.
I'm sorry, man. I got an emergency notification. What was that question again?
When was the heathen walking with God? Because after Adam, there's still a difference.
When was the heathen walking with God? Um,
Yeah, they have to be reconciled back to the Father. Meaning at one point they was with him. They have to return back to God. When were the heathen walking with God?
yeah, I mean, I believe that was in Adam.
If not, hey, if that's
It-
your answer, that's your answer.
yeah. So
So it's basically everybody.
yeah,
Okay.
So
but it's not.
everybody was walking
So
with God.
when you look at this word cosmos, it's here. B, go hang out with mommy. Um, when you look at this word cosmos, it means orderly arrangement, and it's speaking about the orderly arrangement of mankind. So not every single person, but at least all people from all tongues, nations, tribes, and as we see from Revelations chapter 7. But let me get actually, you know what? Let's just get because this has been kind of a long stream. I don't want to hold y'all too much. But Oz, look, I do enjoy talking to you. I enjoy talking to D. Taz, I enjoy talking to him too. So if y'all want to do this again, we could definitely hop back on. And we
Yeah,
could hop
hey,
on.
because
Yeah.
because I wanted because I didn't honestly, bro. I didn't even know y'all was talking about this. I just jumped on see what was going on. Me personally, like I told you before, I would like a more formal setting because when it's not formal, you get what we got now. We going all over the place. Now we in Genesis. Why are we in Genesis? We're supposed to be talking about Romans 11, right? So I want something a little bit more structured because honestly, I don't even know your full position on Romans 11. I, I
Yeah.
I don't I don't really know. You know what I'm saying? So I think a better way to do this is first we lay our premise on the chapter as a whole so that we know what to actually talk about. Like you see how all the questions and
Yeah.
hypotheticals that you're asking, like I don't want to do that. I just want to talk about the text. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
because you
D,
do that and that makes us do that. And I don't want to do that. I just want to talk about the text.
yeah, yeah. Well, D, I'm only doing because look, I've talked to a lot of you guys. You guys use a lot of hypotheticals. So I was only using it to an attempt to bridge the gap. That I don't know exactly how you guys go about biblical exegesis. So I just kind of
Well, I will
follow
say
suit.
we
What'd you
didn't.
say?
When I talked to you, I didn't use no analogies. I just
Yeah, I
flowed.
don't. I try to stay away
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's cool. I'll stay away from it from now on. But D,
Well,
before go ahead.
analogies are actually you're speaking to people, communicating properly, and when you're disagreeing, that's when analogies come. It's like a buffer. It brings everybody together because if you're saying something and he's not getting it, that's when an analogy is used.
Yeah, I understand that, but what was going on was either side asks a question and the answer is an analogy. Like
Right. Yeah, yeah.
that's what we got
No,
to cut.
yeah, no, I agree with you guys. When you was asking a yes or no question, it should just be a yes or no answer, and then you move
Right.
on.
Yeah. But no, we kind of went over what you guys thought about Romans 11, not in a full context, but kind of just like, hey, who are these Gentiles? Because that's the main topic. And Oz gave his view, Taz gave his view, and we were kind of just discussing about that. The
That was
biggest,
but that was I was listening a little bit, and that was a stumbling block. Like the word Gentiles placed more places than Romans 11. Like so that was your first problem. I would have asked different places, what to get a base on how to know when it's a Gentile Israelite or a Gentile Gentile. Like so, I would have asked different passages where it says use the word Gentile and try to get a feel for their understanding. Okay, over here when this is said, it says Gentiles, who's that? And over here, when it says Gentiles, you know what I mean? Just to catch up to see where they're at and then go from there.
Well,
Yeah.
can I just want to ask a question, Mitch. Who is the elect to you?
Okay, when you say who, are you saying like, are they Israel? Like, what nation are they? Like,
I'm just asking who is the elect?
yeah, the elect are just merely those who God has called out. That's it. It's not, yeah.
Okay, so you believe that Gentiles have been called out?
Yeah.
Like,
God can call anybody out.
I mean, he can, but I'm saying is that like when we read the Bible, is that something that we see prophecy? Because we all believe in Romans 8:29 through 30 that people are going to be predestinated to conform to the image of Christ.
Right.
So those people that are conformed to the image of Christ, those are the elect. So that's why I was trying to ask, like, so who are those people? Like, do you have a verse for that? Or?
Yeah. I mean, my understanding is Paul's audience are Jews and Gentiles. So this wouldn't just be like a specific people group. This would be, those groups.
I know, but I'm trying to get it because we as Israelites, we don't believe in like Gentiles being the elect. We only see the elect as the Israelites.
Okay. So Israelites, does that go outside of those who descend from Jacob or no?
It's only the people that descend from Jacob.
Okay. Was Abraham an elect?
Well, he's the patriarch of Jacob.
I get that, but he wouldn't be considered technically an Israelite because he doesn't descend from Israel.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I don't see how that answers my question on who is the elect.
Well, I answered that question, and then you said, like, you asked me to show a verse where it's people outside of that.
Well, that wouldn't be outside of it. Abraham is the progenitor of Israel, so that's still not outside of like outside of outside of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because all of those people are the elect, and their descendants are the elect. Anybody outside that descendancy, who do we see being called the elect? Just make it easy.
Well, like I said, Romans 8:29, it doesn't specifically say, hey, these are only Israelites. It just says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his son, that he be the firstborn among many brethren. You reading the Bible on there?
So who are those people that were called to be predestinated?
Well, like I said, I believe Paul's audience is mixed. He has Israelites, and then he has Gentiles.
Well, the only reason I'm asking is because we all understand that Paul's understanding is rooted in Torah and prophecy. So that means Paul knows who those people are that's supposed to be conformed to the image of Christ. So do you have any like prophecy or anything like that shows, or is it only just off of the letters of Paul and
Isaiah 49:6.
Isaiah 49:6.
And also Isaiah 65, like the whole chapter.
Real quick, I'm finna head out, y'all. Brother Meech, I appreciate you for letting us have had a conversation. Hey, according to our doctrine, would you be an Israelite?
According to your doctrine, yeah.
Okay.
Taj, you crazy, man. Whatever, bro.
Listen, I got nothing but love.
Question is crazy. Hey, let's catch back up, Taj.
Yeah, most definitely. You got my messenger.
Yeah, I got you.
This Friday, the first Friday of every month, we got camp, so that's why I wasn't really doing much. I had to get all the equipment ready. But yeah, hit my phone for sure. But a habathon to everybody on the platform. That means I love y'all. But shalom, you know what I'm saying? Y'all stay safe.
Shalom, God.
Shalom. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna read this real quick. I'm gonna read these two verses, and I'll let you get your take.
Okay.
And one sec. Hold up. And he said,
I'll put you on hold real fast. I'm gonna miss the washing clothes. So.
oh yeah, no worries.
Right.
Okay. Hold up. And he said, it is a light thing that thou shouldest be my servant to raise up the tribes of Jacob and to restore the preserved of Israel. I will also give thee for a light to the Gentiles, that thou mayest be my salvation unto the end of the earth. So there's that verse, and then there's Isaiah 65 and 1. I'm gonna read that, and then you can give your thoughts on it. Isaiah 65 and 1. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name.
Okay, well, I would say in Isaiah 49, where it says we are a light to the Gentiles, that's not saying that the Gentiles are part of the election. It's saying that Israel is going to be the standard for the Gentiles. So if we're the light, just like how flies are attracted to the light, that's how Gentiles are going to be. We're just going to be the standard of the world, and through us, salvation is going to come. That's how we see that in Isaiah 49. And for Isaiah
But
65.
before you say that, I just want to say
Go ahead.
you can back that up with Isaiah 60. I don't know if we just kicking the rocks or not, but we use Isaiah 60 to back up that statement. But go ahead.
Yeah, Isaiah 60 shows that when Israel comes in rulership, everybody's gonna get put in subjection. Then in Isaiah 65, we see that as the people that he's talking to as Israelites. We don't see them nobody else. Because even Paul quotes that in Romans 10. I want to say Romans 10 and what's that, 20?
20.
And he says that that's talking to Israel.
Right here?
Yeah.
Where does he say that's talking to Israel? Let's go look at that.
Because the KJV kind of renders that a little wrong. That's not saying that he's calling upon the people that wasn't called. He's saying that these people didn't call upon him.
Okay, let's read it. In verse 19, I'll start there as you get some context.
Go ahead.
But I say, did not Israel know? First Moses saith, I will provoke you to jealousy by them that are no people, and by a foolish nation I will anger you. And then he says, but, so this is breaking what he's talking about. Okay. But Isaiah is very bold and saith, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. But to Israel, he saith, all day long have I stretched forth my hands unto a disobedient and gainsaying people. So go ahead.
He's quoting Isaiah 65. And Isaiah 65 is the people that he's called to, like he's stretched forth his hands out to.
So in verse 19 and verse 20, when he says Israel,
19 has nothing to do with the quote in Isaiah. It's only 20 and 21.
But it's a continuous thought from 19 to 21.
Yeah, but that's not the quote though.
Yeah, but it's a continuous thought. He's not just saying this randomly.
No, it's a continuous thought.
Yeah. I know it's a different place in the Old Testament. You're right.
Yeah, it's all that. Even if you want to start from 19, all that context is to Israel.
Right. So, but when he says Israel, who is that there?
Who's that where?
Like let's say verse 19, verse 21, when he says, but I say, did not Israel know? First saith Moses. So Moses, when he says Israel, regarding who?
In that context, if it's coming from Moses, then it would have to be all of Israel.
Okay. And then when he says it, right. And with Isaiah, when he says, but to Israel, he said, who's Israel there?
It would still be all of Israel.
That would be all of Israel. Okay. So when he says in verse 20, but Isaiah is very bold and says, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that I asked not after me. So this is a certain people. And then he says, but to Israel, he said. So if Israel there is all of Israel, then who he's saying this to in the previous verse is not Israel. And you can go and prove that from Isaiah 65. Isaiah
65 itself is talking about Israel.
Okay. So
because if you go to verse 2, it says, and I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people. Who is the rebellious people that he's stretching his hand out to?
Oh, that's Israel, yeah.
So then that's the whole context.
But that's not who he's talking about in verse 1. Let me read it. He says, okay. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me unto a nation that was not called by my name. So if I connect this,
that's why I said that's not rendered right. It's not supposed to say a nation that's not called. That's why Paul actually quotes it correctly He quotes it actually very well. In verse 10, in verse 20, it says, but Isaiah is very bold and saith, I was found of them that sought me not. I was made manifest unto them that asked not after me. So they're not calling upon the Lord. It's not that the Lord is calling upon people that he's not calling. These people are not calling upon the Lord. I would just say that the part where it says that was not called by my name, that's not rendered correctly. The correct how it's supposed to be said is these people have been called after me. And the only people that calls after the Most High God is the Israelites. That's why he even doubles down on who this audience is. When you get to chapter 2, it is, I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good after their own thoughts. With the rebellious people that he's talking to is Israel. That's why I say 1 and 2, same context.
Okay. So you're saying that, okay. So the way you're saying it should be rendered is that they were not calling upon God's name.
Yeah.
So it should be, they were not calling upon my name, they were not called by my name.
Yeah, they basically wasn't asking for help.
Okay. The only issue with that, let me do this.
Because if that's not correct, then I mean Paul misquoted it.
No, he didn't misquote it.
That's why I say I don't believe Paul misquoted. I believe Paul is Israelite. So he speaks Hebrew, so he said it correctly.
Yeah. Let me just pull this up real quick. Okay. So you guys know, like, so called. So the problem is this word called. So you guys see my screen?
The problem is not the word called, but okay, yeah.
Because you said, so it's the difference in how we're translating the word called. You said it's about the Israelites not calling on God's name, not that they're not called by God's name.
Yeah, I believe that the NLT actually renders that one pretty correct.
Right. Because if I said I called you versus if I say I was called versus I'm calling you, that's a different use of the word call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when we look at this word in blue letter, you guys see this little oval on the right side?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the parsing. I don't know if you guys know about this. So this is the parsing. And
the plural and the third person and the perfect and the singular.
Right. So it tells us this is a verb. It's in the pual stem, perfect tense, meaning it's a something that did or did not occur definitely in the past. Third person masculine, singular. What's interesting here is the stem. The stem is going to tell you how the verb is used. So it says the pual stem is in the passive form of the pael. So pael is active, pual is passive. Passive means an action happens to you, not you doing an action. So it's not about them calling, that's active, it's you doing the action. It's not about them calling God's name, it's about them being called. The action is happening to them. And you guys can look this up as far as passive. All right, I could just do a quick search on what passive
I mean,
is.
that's fine. I just go off of how Paul interpreted it. Paul says that he's manifested himself to a people that have not asked of me. Well, if that verse is supposed to be written how you're trying to say it, Paul would have to be rendering that wrong.
Well, no, ask not is right here. Sought me not is right here.
In verse 20, it says, I have found them that sought that sought me not. That's that first part that you just highlighted.
Sought me not.
Of them that's asking me, and I found them that sought me not. Then if you keep reading, he says, I have made manifest unto them that ask not of me. That's after I have sought them not and I found of them. This is the part right here under not.
But ask not is right here in the verse, though. I know it's after. I don't believe that when the apostles are quoting scripture, they have to quote it word for word. They just have to.
He could just paraphrasing.
Yeah, paraphrase. Because if they don't say as it is written, that means that they're not technically quoting it word for word. They can be. That doesn't always necessitate, though. Because
it's not a paraphrase. Yeah. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that's just, to me, something has to be mistranslated if Paul is saying something different, and other translations which are based off the. I know some are based off the Greek Septuagint, but other translations are saying differently too. Like, and then when you get to verse 2, when it's rebellious people, and we know it's Israel, everything else points to verse 1 being Israel. Like, there, to me, I say to me, I don't
Yeah.
see enough evidence to say that verse 1 is pointing
Other
to
nations.
Yeah. So here's
And
my
then you got a
point.
contradiction with the Bible when you do that.
Well, here's my point in verse 1. When it says unto a nation that was not, you need me to open this? Yeah. When it says unto a nation that was not called by my name, called is kara. It's in the perfect tense, meaning this is something that never happened in the past. But if you go down to verse, let me take this Hebrew off the side. If you go down to verse 12, he says, therefore will I number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. And then in verse 13, he begins to set his audience apart from his servant. He says, therefore, thus saith the Lord God, behold, my servants shall eat, but you shall be hungry. So there's a distinction of two groups one being talked about, one being spoken to.
So who's the servant you would say right there?
The servants, this goes back to verse 1, that nation that was not called by his name.
So the heathen are the servants.
Yeah.
Okay, so who is the people that's not going to eat?
That's his people, the Jews who he's talking to,
So
because
it's
Isaiah
saying
only wrote to Jews.
So you believe that's saying that God is telling the Israelites, the Gentiles are going to eat, but y'all are going to be hungry.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to speak on that or?
Yeah.
I just disagree. I believe his servants are those who are actually serving the Most High, like doing his law, statutes, and commandments. And those who did not call on the name of the Lord, those who did not listen to him, are the ones that he's putting to the sword.
Yeah, we believe
Okay,
that's
the rebellious. The rebellious.
that context is like all of. Would you say all of Israel?
Which one?
Where it says the people that's not going to eat, it's talking about the wicked of our people.
Yeah, the rebellious.
Yeah, no,
That's
I agree. But
Yeah.
my premise is that when you read this verse 1, it says, unto a nation that was not called by my name. The calling is not something that happens continuously. That would be a different parsing, a different word. This calling here, perfect tense, is something that happens at one point in time. So we saw that in verse 12, but we can also see in Deuteronomy 28 and 10, when Moses is speaking to all Israel, he says, and I'll highlight it so you guys can see. I know it's a little difficult on the screen. And all people of the earth shall see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of you. So at one point, all of Israel was called. And when you look at this word called, it's
probably the same.
I'm gonna pull it up on blue letter. Make it easier for you guys to see. So if you look right here, this word kara, it's in the, because what I'm focusing on right here is perfect tense. That is something that happened in the past. Deuteronomy 28, 10. Same word, but it has it's in the nifal stem, so it's something that's so nifal and pual are basically the same thing. They're slightly different. They're both passive verbs. So this one is nikra, the other one was kora. So same thing, but slightly different.
So
but
you're
anyways,
saying you
yeah.
believe that Isaiah is saying that the heathen are called, correct?
Yeah.
So would it be a contradiction if Isaiah right after that said that the heathen were never called?
Well, he always makes a distinction between believing Gentiles and unbelieving Gentiles, as he does with believing Israel and non-believing Israel. You guys even just said right here that this is non-believing Israel, that it's set apart from his servants. Yeah, because there's always a distinction within every nation, as there is with Israel, of believers and non-believers.
Okay, so you believe that 1 and 2. So only verse 1 is talking,
just one.
Just verse 1, and then the rest of it is talking to Israel.
Until you get to 15.
Well, no. Verse 1 isn't talking to another people. All of it's talking to Israel, but verse 1 is speaking about the heathen, as you would call them, and then the rest goes on to talk about God's own people and the atrocities that they have committed.
Mhm.
And then he goes on to speak about his servant versus his people right there. And and then he goes into another topic.
So when Isaiah says that Jacob is his only servant, he didn't really mean that.
Where are you looking at that? Where? Jacob, my servant, my elect, in whom my soul delight. It doesn't say only there.
Well, it doesn't add anybody else either.
But okay, but you're saying it's only them. For you to say that it's
if it was to give other people, then yeah, I would agree with you. But
okay,
if I'm gonna call after somebody, if I want somebody else, I'm gonna call for somebody else, or I'm gonna choose for somebody else. That's
sure don't. Okay, so you're saying Jacob is his only servant. There's no other servants?
Yeah, I would say that Jacob is the only servant of God.
Okay, what about Cyrus?
What about Cyrus?
He was called the servant of God.
You talking about when he was called, wait, was he called the servant of God? Let me see.
He was called Mashiach too. The anointed one.
The anointed?
Yeah.
Yeah, when you go into that word for anointed, it just means like he was chosen to do something.
Right.
So he was chosen to do was to give out the order to help Israel build their temple. But that doesn't mean that he was a servant, like as in how God is using it. God is saying like Israel is the servant of God, but Cyrus is going to serve out my purpose. He's a servant in that. Because if that's just how we looking from a bigger, broad perspective of God.
So is there an element of being a servant that goes past the flesh?
No, I would say that
the flesh is sufficient to call yourself a servant. That's what I'm asking. It's just being
I would
certain...
say the elect is Israel and Jacob is Israel, which comes from Jacob. So I would say all of them are either the elect or the servant, no one else. Because I don't see any time God calls the heathen his servants too, as in like how he's interpreting in Isaiah 45 and verse 4.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that happens right here. Because if we just read it, the entire chapter, it starts off with him saying, unto a nation that was not called by my name. We know Israel was called, and he even reiterates.
I know, but we disagree on that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to show me somewhere else. And I disagree that I'm going off of Paul's interpretation. I believe that Paul is saying that whoever these people, they didn't call upon the Lord.
Yeah, but I mean that's okay. But Paul didn't say that though. What did Paul say? He said they asked not after him, right? That's
yeah, right. For the part where it says, "I said, behold, behold," and so a nation. That's what he means by they didn't ask of me.
Well, ask not is right here. It's in the
That's at he says that in the beginning, and then there's a verse at the end. I'm talking about the latter part of the verse. The latter part of the verse, he's quoting the latter part of this verse.
So you think there's no way he could be referring to something that's already said in the beginning, and it's the same phraseology? Like we can look at the Septuagint, and I wonder if Paul used the exact same thing that's said right here. Acts not.
Can we look at the Septuagint?
Yeah, let's look at the Septuagint.
Okay, let me do this.
Because when Paul says,
"On the second witness on it,"
when it says, "And I found I was found of them that sought not after me," boom, that's the part you saw, sought not out, and I was manifest unto them that ask not of me.
Okay. Yeah.
I got more.
In Isaiah, all this yogurt.
What's my mom giving?
Okay. All right. So let me just look at this real quick.
To them, they ask not after me. Yeah, it says the same thing. It says exactly the same thing. Yeah. Shout out to the lexicon.
Yeah. So, but right here,
look, that's why I said other translations render it different.
They render it like that.
I believe it. They going off the lexicon.
Yeah. But look, so here's the thing, though. So you guys see this word right here? Violet, watch out. You see this word? It's epidetosin. So this is the word for I'm losing my train of thought. Oh my gosh, axe not. This is the word for axe not in the Septuagint. And right here in what Paul said, axe not epidetosin. So it's the same word. Axe not from the Hebrew. It's the same phrase up here. Where is it? Axe
So,
not at the beginning. It's the same phrase.
so it's not basically the Greek and the Hebrew is not lining up with the same way that it's written.
It's just not in the same order. That's all. Yeah. So Paul's still, when he says ask not, he's still referring to this up here. He's not referring to the not called by my name, because this is much further into something that's, as you said, I'm not going to, but it's separated by the colon. So it's kind of, in a sense, a separate thought. I see where you were going with it, but yeah, my understanding of this is they weren't called by his name, which all of Israel, doesn't matter if you're in captivity, doesn't matter where you're at. If you're an Israelite, at one point in your history, you were called by God's name.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with that,
that
but
call doesn't go away. Maybe the knowledge of who you are and who you're supposed to be worshiping goes away, but the calling itself, I mean, if your boss calls you, you're supposed to be at work, and you're like, oh, I didn't see it. Well, I called you, look at your phone. That call don't go away unless you delete it, but it's still there.
my only problem is when you get down to verse 9 in the same chapter, because we're talking about the servants. It talks about how I will bring forth the seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, and inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell there. So you believe the heathen are going to be dwelling, like all of them are going to be dwelling in Israel?
When you say all of them, are you when I say all the heathen, I'm saying a group of believing Gentiles.
Yeah, I'm saying you're saying that the believers are going to be in Israel.
Yeah, but this is I don't believe this is physically. I believe this is more of a spiritual reality.
So you don't believe there's going to be like that Israel's going to be actually ruling on earth?
Well, I don't believe the rulership that people have in mind are the same rulership the Bible's talking about. Let's put it that way.
And what do you see? You see rulership as what?
So you can rule from an actual throne, as we see in movies. You can rule a people, so let me ask you this, because it doesn't seem like this in the Bible, but this is how I understand it. Do you believe that in the Old Testament, before the exile, that Israel was ruling the earth?
No, Israel is not ruling the earth.
Okay, let me ask you like this then. When Israel was obeying God, were they ruling the earth?
No.
Okay. When we look at ruling, are you just looking at having different dignitaries in all locations of the land?
I'm looking at that way because that's what was promised to Israel. That's how they were supposed to. That's what God promised Israel, how they would rule. How they would rule is they would physically be ruling over their enemies, and that would be all of the other heathen.
Okay, so has Israel ever been the ruling class of the world?
Of the whole world?
No, in God's eyes, not in the eyes of occupying every territory, but in the eyes of, if this people obeys me.
I'm gonna say in God's eyes, He gave Israel a promise that they were going to rule the whole world. So in God's eyes, if they're not really like physically ruling the whole world, then no, because that was literally what was promised to them, is that they would be the rulers of the world. They would possess the gates of their enemies. And at that time, when King David and them was at their highest point, they didn't possess the gate of all their enemies.
And also having the Nile through the Euphrates.
Yeah, they didn't even, that hasn't happened yet. So I wouldn't agree with that one.
Okay, so Israel's never been the ruling class. Ruling class, I would look at that as like the highest point of humans.
I can't say that because around that time I don't see Israel taking over Babylon I don't think
Or Egypt.
Egypt,
Or
yeah,
Egypt.
they didn't take over Egypt. Egypt was, they was
Yeah.
pretty. Yeah, so I wouldn't say that.
Ugh.
That would be my only thing about
So-
being a servant, because the servant of God is gonna rule.
Yeah. So okay, the ruling, is that a physical thing or a spiritual thing? Can you rule spiritually?
I don't see God saying we're gonna rule spiritually. I see him saying there's gonna be a physical rulership on earth.
Oh, there's gonna be a physical kingdom.
Yeah, we believe there's gonna be a physical kingdom on earth.
Meet you don't believe that?
Nah, I don't.
Oh, that's crazy.
But
That's
I'm
crazy.
gonna pull it up.
So you believe like heaven in the sky, like heaven in like
No,
another
no.
dimension?
So I believe, so when you look at the word kingdom and you look at the root form of it, the word itself is basilia, but it comes from basis, and it speaks about the foot of the walk. So kingdom has to do with how we conduct ourselves, because every kingdom has laws, and every kingdom has a king that sits on a throne. Since God dwells in us and he will cause us to walk and obey him, therefore that is the kingdom of God. Because Jesus basically said this. So I'm gonna read this in Luke 17:20. He says, and when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation, neither shall they say, look here or look there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. So I believe God's kingdom is within us, and we rule men by the rod of iron, which is the word of God.
I see where you're going with that, but we see this verse right here when he says the kingdom of God is within you. He's talking to physical Israelites. When we know that's physical Israelites, he's talking to the Pharisees. So this kingdom, the God's kingdom is physically Israel. It's not really even about a place. The kingdom is when his people Israel are ruling physically on earth over all nations.
Yeah,
Because
but even
go ahead.
I'm just gonna say, but even if we take, what you think feel the kingdom is, like us ruling with a rod of iron, which is the word, like we have to do that physically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gonna be on earth.
Yeah, we're gonna be. How we gonna rule with the word if we ain't talking to nobody?
Yeah, no. So, okay, my understanding about the kingdom is that the kingdom's been here since Pentecost. So when you look at, and I'll give you a little bit. I don't want to go too deep into this because this is kind of like a separate topic, but
Yeah,
I believe
I think we're just kicking
different.
it right now.
we just kicking it. We just kicking
Yeah,
it, bro.
for sure. But yeah. So I know when you look at when the scripture says Satan will be bound 1,000 years, I'm gonna bring that up. Because this is interesting. A lot of people have a millennial reign. You guys believe in 1,000 years after the end, right?
No,
No, we believe that already happened.
we believe that already happened.
When did that happen?
Dark Ages. So what's that
Oh.
after what?
Basically, the Renaissance.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Renaissance.
I'm trying to
Okay.
see. I wouldn't necessarily say after the Moors, but basically the Renaissance.
Before the Renaissance, basically.
Okay, got you. So, what's interesting, and I can't wait to get this book on it. There is a fascinating understanding about how the Greeks understood numbers. But that kind of slightly goes into this. But anyways, this word thousand is the word kilia, and it's plural. So it means more than 1,000 at least. So at least two. So there's a 2,000-year period where Satan is bound and Christ is ruling. So I'm gonna look up the same word and we'll kind of just go through it. So you guys believe that 1,000 years was in the Dark Ages?
Yeah, because the way if you interpret or our other Christians interpret it, it kind of goes against scripture because we read the Bible. It says that the saints will possess the kingdom forever and ever. There is no breaking of the kingdom. Like there is no, we're gonna be here for 2,000 years, and then there's
All
gonna
right.
be a war
Well,
and things like that.
well, right here, I think most people get this from Revelations 20:4. I understand this to be now. He says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given them unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Jesus and for the word of God, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither, excuse me, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years, which 1,000 kilia is more than one, so at least two. So I see that the kingdom has already been here, because the kingdom, like as Christ said, the kingdom of God is within you, and it's when the Spirit is directing your walk. And the Spirit was given to all flesh at Pentecost in Acts 2.
So
I
what you
understand
believe? What do you believe the mark is?
Yeah. So Mark, I believe. So when you look at Mark, I'll pull this up. Everything for me, for the most part, is a breakdown of what we're looking at in the original, for the most part. So, oh, dang, this is a long verse. There's that worship the beast, neither have received his mark. Charagma. So this word charagma, it speaks about it's a boundary, character, or a stake. So a boundary line is something that somebody's limits of where they're willing to cross and not cross. So a law of sorts, right? So the character of the beast is to disobey God and go beyond his boundary. So I believe the mark of God is
we kind of we kind of hold to that.
Yeah.
Image of the beast is basically you following the beast and not following God.
Oh yeah. You can put it that way.
You believe it that way.
Yeah, the beast is it's just very general for false worship, false belief, disbelievers, and that's why when it talks about Babylon, it says Babylon's the mother of all idolatry. Interestingly enough, when you look at idolatry, it's the word idolatria. Ido means to see, latruo means to worship, means to worship what you see. So idolatry is not just having like a Buddha statue, going to the Kaaba. It's worshiping everything you put your eyes on. So whatever you serve and work for in life, that's what you're doing. That's why God says, go ahead.
I was gonna say we take that to be an actual mark.
An actual mark.
Yeah, what you said, we view more so to the image.
Yeah, the image and stuff like that. It's more of a following the world and stuff like that. But then when we see mark, we believe that that's gonna be something that's gonna be ushered out for real.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, I believe all of it's going. Yeah.
But well, I don't know, because I'm about to switch topics. So you can.
Wait, hold on. Before you switch topics, let me get back in there. That mark is that damn cell phone. Hey, lose that cell phone. And look, you can't. The bank, your emails, IRS, lose that phone. They all want to send you a goddamn text.
Hey, you know what though? It's kind of similar to that, but it ain't the phone. I
wouldn't say the phone. I wouldn't say the phone.
Yo, I'm locked. Yo,
something that control the phone.
Bro, I'm locked. I'm living this. I'm locked out. I'm locked out so much. I can't even get a debit card because I got my phone because they can't send me a text. Like, what the fuck? The IRS to check my IRS account, they gotta send me a text. Like, yo, I told my bank, I said, so if I signed up without a phone, I don't get a bank account because you gotta text me. It's like, yeah, yo, you need a phone for everything, bro. Everybody want to text you.
Yeah. I can't even pay my I can't even put money on my credit card without my phone.
Bro, it can't be the phone though, because if it is the phone,
he joking. He joking.
Hey, I don't know, man. We talk to a lot of people. Some people be.
I'm not joking at all.
Serious.
Are you serious, Unbiased?
Yes. When you go register for something, you know how they have required fields. And required fields your goddamn phone number. I gotta give you my phone number.
Some people thought it was at some point Social Security because it was the same thing as the phone.
No, it's not. That's spooky shit. Look what I'm telling you, bro. See, this is going over your head a little bit. I'm saying I'm living this right now. I can't get shit done because my phone is damaged and I can't receive a text. So it stretched further than banks. I can't get a lot of shit done. and it's holding me back because, and so that's why I can't. This realization, like, God damn, your phone, yo, listen, I'm there in person. I got my social security card. I got my birth certificate. I got everything needed, right?
Mm.
And I'm there in person. I'm there in the flesh, but I ain't got the phone. So the phone is more important than everything I had there.
No, I see that. I disagree, but
I
know,
mean, whatever your head. But
whatever,
anybody,
bro.
anybody who's living life, try to do something without your phone. Watch nothing get done. Nothing get done.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. But hey, I just want to talk about one last
Go back
thing.
on you. So let me get out of here. I gotta wake up early this morning.
Yeah, before we depart, right?
Man. Peace.
All right, peace on bias.
Peace, brother. Peace.
Come on.
Yeah, one last thing before we depart. I know we talk about the light to the Gentiles, right? Can we go to Isaiah 60? I just want to get your exegesis on
Isaiah 60, what 16? 16?
1, and then we can jump there.
Okay. All right. You want me to read it?
You can. Yeah, I mean whoever can read.
I got you. Where you want me to start from?
From 1, and then we can jump.
It says this is Isaiah 60.
Jump to 10.
All right, Isaiah 61:1. It says, "Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee."
Actually, read the 3. Read the 3.
It says, "For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and the gross darkness the people. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising."
Right now, I'm just reading this, Meech, because I'm gonna tell you what our position. I just wanted to get your position. This is what we view the light to the Gentiles are. I know you kind of have a different understanding. Can you go to verse 10 or 12?
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, what?
Go ahead, Oz.
Oh, you want?
And it says, "And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their king shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore thy gates shall be open continually; they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted."
So how we view a light to the Gentiles is ultimately, because we agree, ultimately all nations, everyone on earth, they are going to serve the God of Israel. They're going to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments, but there's still a hierarchy with Israel being on top and other nations serving, to where no war, it's peace, no hunger, none of that. It's just you got to serve the Israelites. You serve the Israelites and their God. That's what we view a light to the Gentiles being, a world that's drastically better than what we currently have. It's just Israel's on top, right? So I just want what your exegesis is, and,
Which we
and
do.
you know, there's
I was gonna say we do agree with how you use cosmos, how Christ died for the natural order of the world. We believe that the natural order of the world is Israel on top, and everybody in subjection to Israel, and they worship our God.
yeah.
Well,
You got,
I don't believe
too.
exactly that about Cosmos.
Okay.
But yeah, because I know you guys do understand its natural order. I understand it as the orderly arrangement of mankind, meaning the elect out of men. That's how I understand it, but it's inclusive of the Gentiles. So it's mostly a word that refers to the Gentiles while not specifying only Israel.
Yeah, that's why I said
my opinion.
we agree just without the Gentiles part because of Isaiah 60. That's what the brother was saying.
I mean, I just want your exegesis. You know, because this is what we use this and Isaiah 2 and Malachi 4 when it goes to, you know, beat your swords into plowshares, nation shall not learn war anymore. All of that in conjunction is what we view that light to the Gentiles. So I just wanted to know if you had exegesis on that.
Okay, which verse exactly? Just what we read in verse 10 through 12.
I mean, the crux is 10 through 12. We read 1, 2, 3, verses 1 through 3 to get the context of the whole light to the Gentile, but specifically 10 to 12.
Okay. So are we saying the context here is this in the kingdom?
Eschatology.
We
Okay.
believe so. We believe so.
Okay. What verse are you going to that's showing you it's in the, because I'm gonna give you my honest answer. This is not something that I've read a lot. I have read it a little bit because I know you guys go here, but so what verse would you go to show that this is like eschatological?
Verse 9.
Verse 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord thy God, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee.
And we would also say verse 18 too.
Yeah, because we just don't see that happening in biblical history.
Violence shall no
Especially
more
verse
be
18. Yeah.
Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. Thou shalt call thy wall salvation and thy gates praise.
Yeah, we don't see that at all happening anytime. Israel's always been on attack.
Okay. Little ones shall become a
Shoot, and
thousand.
16. It's talking about Christ there.
16. Also suck the milk of the Gentiles and shall suck the breast of kings, and thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
Yeah, that's the Redeemer is definitely Christ.
The Redeemer is Christ?
Is Christ not the Redeemer?
Well, he's saying, and I, the Lord, your Savior, your Redeemer.
Like that's all Christ.
Oh, so you believe Christ is Yahweh?
Now, I don't believe he's Yahweh, but
Yeah.
Yahweh's arm. So whenever the Most High needs something done, he sends Christ to do it. So
Yeah,
when we go to war, he's going to send Christ to do it, and Christ is going to command us to go to war.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't understand that in the same way you guys might understand it. Let me go. Where were we at? Verse 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people, but the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and the kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about, and see all they gather themselves together. They come to see thy sons shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Yeah, I don't know if I see this as only eschatological or even just eschatological in a sense. I see this maybe as something that happens after captivity, after exile, maybe. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not gonna say anything for sure, but
we believe like we believe same thing. Like after captivity, that's eschatology. That's the ushering in of the kingdom.
oh, I'm talking like, okay. All right, I mean after the end times, like at the end of time. I'm talking when I say eschatology, I'm talking about like end times.
So after salvation?
Yeah, yeah. After being delivered. That's
Okay.
what I meant by eschatology. If you guys are saying after captivity, I would agree that this is probably fitting in somewhere there.
Right. It's just we believe that after salvation is the kingdom.
After salvation is the kingdom?
Yeah, salvation is when the Israelites get taken out of that captivity and the exile get brought together. And then after all that, salvation comes the ushering in the kingdom, Isaiah 61. Isaiah 60.
Daddy, see.
Okay. Okay. No, yeah, no, fair enough. So let me ask this because we got crazy all over the place, which is cool. I don't mind in a discussion format. I see what the brother was saying with being more on point. When y'all take me on trails, I go. I'm happy to go. So I'm hard with staying on point too. But in Isaiah 65 and 1, because we kind of understood when we looked at the Septuagint in this, but I never brought the point home.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
because after this we can wrap up. We can, and you got our information, so we can always say something. I like talking to you, bro. I know it was a little heated. Everybody get passionate. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody just passionate, bro.
People get passionate, man. People get that's why I try to keep a low energy, and I try to at least let points be heard. You know what I'm saying? So Salakia for
Hey,
everything.
look,
People got a little bit too heated.
D and I's. Y'all know I was snapping at y'all earlier, but now we chilling. I think I don't want to say it was the one dude, but I don't want to say it wasn't, you know. But because even me and Taz was just chilling, but I was just getting amped up for some reason with the other dude. But yeah, we've been having a
That's
good
that
good
passion,
combo.
man. That's that
Yeah.
passion. That's it. That's it. But yeah, go ahead. Because after you
Yeah, we'll wrap up. We won't take too long. So he says, "Behold me," in verse 1, after I'll just read the whole thing. I'm sought of them that asked not for me. I'm found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. So we agree that ask not and sought me not in Paul's rendering are there. He's just not talking about the calling there. When he says called, not called by my name, this can't be speaking about Israel because Israel was called by God's name. Do you guys agree?
It just I can't, because like in the next couple of chapters later, he says that the heathen were never called by the Lord's name. So it's like,
That's my point. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The heathen were not called by God's name. This is not saying that they're going to be called right now as I'm writing this. It's just pointing out the fact that they weren't called, that Israel was called and that the heathen weren't. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't line up with how I see prophecy. Like with Isaiah 6:60, it's like, well, damn, if the heathen are called, why they don't get the light? They gotta come to the light. They
Well,
don't
because
get
that comes later. Because that comes later. You guys talked about how it's after exile,
yeah.
but Isaiah's writing before exile. He's talking about what's going to happen after exile, right?
Would you say this is after exile?
This,
Yeah.
I don't.
Or you don't really have a pinpoint on this.
It's hard to say exactly when.
I
You know
know,
what I'm
because the
saying?
Bible jump back in the past and in the future and in the present. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it's hard to say exactly when he's directing this, but at this point in time, I would say it's hard to tell for that, you know. But so I think because this is my biggest point here is that in Deuteronomy 28:10, before the split, God says all of Israel was called. Now, whether they what they do with that calling, whether answering it and obeying God or not, still doesn't negate the fact that they were called, right? Because let me read it in verse 12.
We see sometimes when Israel go off, they're called, not his people anymore. So I would say they're not called at that moment. We're separated from God for right now.
But even if you're separated from God, it doesn't negate that in the past he called you. Even if you're not walking in his commandments, even if you're worshiping idols, in the past he still called you. So right here, in verse 12, he says, "Because when I called, ye did not answer." So just because they didn't answer doesn't mean that God no longer called. It's just their reaction to him calling is this, but still called, right? So that's my whole point with Isaiah 65:1. If all of Israel was called, and the calling doesn't necessitate that you answer or obey, it's just a calling, then this cannot be Israel. This nation cannot be Israel. Like you said, the heathen were not called.
I mean, it doesn't line up because the title is a rebellious people. The rebellious people that God is talking about is Israel. Because I see verse 1 as the context all the way down.
Yeah.
And just to put my 2 cents, like I said, every other translation don't say that. So I guess at this point, unless you can get maybe a second witness,
or third now, because we went into the Hebrew and the Greek.
No, I'm talking about a second witness on I guess non-Israelites being called, I guess. Because I know your point here is that they are called. So like that's all I can see. Because everywhere else we go, it don't
my
say
point
that it wasn't called by his name.
D, my point was that this nation that's not called, that is seeking God, that is finding God, it's not Israel because heathens are not at this point in time, heathens are not called by God's name. There's no ministry to the heathen at this point in a large sense. Yeah, you had the Gad that were part of the nation of Israel that partook of the customs and the rituals and the rites. But it wasn't a lot. It was like the outcast. That's why whenever the laws are mentioned, the orphans, the widows are always put with that class because they're like the outcasts of society. So yeah, I'm saying that the heathen were not called. So this nation here that's seeking and finding God, this is not Israel. That's my point here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It's just like I said, man. Every other trend, like for example, the end of that verse in the BBE, it says, "Here I am." Well, like, or, yeah, like pull up the BBE. All right, let me just show you what I'm looking
This one?
at. I don't. It's, yeah,
BBE.
BBE.
Yeah.
Just to show you, like, kind of what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. So you see how it says here, I have been ready to give an answer to those who did not make prayer to me. I have been offering myself to those who were not searching for me. I said, here I am to a nation which gave no respect to my name. And pretty much every other translation has something to that effect. Like the NLT says, to a nation that
Yeah.
did not call on my name. Right. The GNT literally has it, him saying, my people didn't answer me. So that's why I said,
Yeah.
like, everywhere else that I see in translations, in the context, in the chapter itself, and in other places in Isaiah, when he says the heathen aren't called by his name, that's why I have to say, man, it's got to be a mistranslation. Now, if there is another precept or a second witness that shows non-Israelites being called, or something to the same effect, then okay, now we can look at that. But right now, I only see one verse that says
Yeah.
it, and that verse doesn't say the same thing when we go to other translations.
And I think that's why I've spent time to studying Greek and Hebrew, because if you kind of don't know your way around it, you're at the mercy of translators and you're just kind of hopping from one to another, and they all have something different. Like this one speaks about prayer, and I don't even think there's anything about prayer in this verse.
Mhm. No,
Let me
I
see.
agree. I only mention
Yeah.
translations because we take first and foremost context. Is why the
Yeah,
brother told you there's
yeah,
different spots in Isaiah that we would say contradicts that. Because the
yeah, like
context that, and then like for example, Isaiah 60, we look at different contexts. Shoot, Isaiah 60, Isaiah 14, Isaiah 11. There's many different places. When we look at context, it doesn't jive with the sentence. Because at the end of the day, this is a transliteration into English itself.
yeah,
Yeah.
it
But
just
like even when he says to a nation which gave no respect to my name, that would entail this giving respect or regarding. This would entail um an active verb, but the verb here, like we saw, it's pual. You guys can look at the stem. That's a passive verb. So I don't, that's why when it comes to like some of these verb translations, I don't agree just because of how the word itself is. So it makes me question like some of this. Like I wonder how do they have the Young's literal? Yeah, let's look at Young's literal translation.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. I feel everything saying. That's why I'm asking, like, is there another verse that's saying the same thing or something similar?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Is there another,
With Isaiah 1, Isaiah
yeah,
65 and
65
1.
and 1, like
Yeah.
showing heathens being called?
Oh no, I'm saying in this verse, heathens are not called. You're wanting me to show where heathens are called?
Right, right. I guess now I'm understanding what
he's
Yeah, yeah,
we
how
understand
you
that
breaking this down.
how you breaking this down is because it says unto a nation that was not called. This has to be talking about the heathen, but it just doesn't line up because it starts off the sentence with that and then jumps into I have spread out my hands all day to a rebellious people, when this whole context, as the chapter is called, a rebellious people.
right. So
Like, because this right here,
all
like,
right, let me add real quick. I don't mean to cut you off, D. Let me
yeah, go
ask
ahead.
this. So when in verse 2 down, um, when he uses let me see. So when he speaks about this people that provoketh him to anger, to his face in verse 3, um, is this Actually, no, that's not the question I wanted to ask. Okay, let me ask this. This might be a better question. Can you show me in the Old Testament where Israel is said to not be called by God's name?
I mean, we can go to Hosea 1 and 10.
That won't work though. Just because it's about him not being his people, not about them not being called anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it would be specific to.
But that's why I said, like, where is the precept? Because we all agree verse 2 on down until whatever verse is talking about Israel. We can see that. We can see that in history. We can see them being rebellious. But where do we see the Most High attempting to call these other nations or to be sought after by these other nations? Like, I don't see that. I don't see it.
Yeah, I never see God sought. That's why brother was saying, like, we don't see God seeking out to other nations. That's what I said. Even if it's saying, oh, I have sought this people out, the only people that God is pleading with is Israel.
Here's another place, Isaiah 63, 18 and 19. The people of thy holiness have possessed it but a little while. Our adversaries have trodden down your sanctuary. We are yours. You never bearest rule over them. They were never called by your name. So
that was my point that I was bringing up.
Are these heathens?
Yeah, that's my point. If these are heathens and it says thou has never bearest rule out over them, why in Isaiah 65 now he's sorting out for people that he's never bear ruled over?
All right. So, and this is prophetic of something that's going to take place later.
And again, I agree with what you say, but that's why Dawala asked, well, do we see a precept after that where we see these people that are not called by God's name now are called or now coming into the fold? That's why we said we don't see none of that in eschatology. We don't see any heathens like coming along and like, oh yeah, bro, you're Israel now. You're part of, like, we don't see that.
The Lord seeking after people that aren't called by him. Like, that's why I said, like in history, maybe in Kings, Judges, like where do we see it?
Well,
like, we understand that your verse. That's why we always give like 3 other verses that witness to it.
So that's my postulation of Romans 11, is that when you look at them not being called, this is the word nation here is goy, and it's the Greek equivalent ethne or ethnos. That's how we understand the word. This is the root word. But it's the same word that Paul uses in Romans 11. And this is my postulation, is that he's literally invoking this because he quotes this at the end of Romans 10 and 20. And then he goes into other things in Romans 11, like other quotations. But then he talks about the Gentiles coming in and being grafted in.
So you believe
like the servant.
You believe like Christ is grafting them in, right?
Well, not specifically Christ, but there is an ingrafting process. I believe it's God that's grafting them in, because it talks about, verse 23 of Romans 11 says, if they abide still not in unbelief, God is able to graft them in again. I think God is the one doing the grafting in.
So when God is grafting in, is he forgiving them of their sins?
It depends. Well, yeah, because inevitably they would repent. You can only be forgiven of your sins if you repent, but only God can grant you repentance,
So when God forgives the other nations, when helps them repent, is that through Christ?
Is that through Christ? Yeah.
So my only problem with that would be is in Romans 11 and 26.
Well, okay, and that's the whole look. I'm gonna show you this. So this is my whole understanding of Romans 11 and 26. So we're gonna do this, and then if you guys, because I would like a part 2 to this, we could do it on your plat. That's cool.
We can. We love it.
Hey, but I will say, I forgot, next week we got our day of
new moon.
We got Day of Atonement.
Yeah, we got Atonement, and then right after that we got Tabernacle. So the next 2 weeks we're gonna be kind of tied up.
That's cool. I could do it after that. I'm gonna be tied up a little bit too over here. So
perfect. Get your questions ready and all that.
Also,
that get more time.
So
Yeah, the
wait,
25th.
so
Let's set something up for the 25th.
since y'all on today, we don't necessarily have to do next week.
Nah, nah, nah. We can do that. If you're free on the 25th, we can set something up.
On the 25th?
Yeah, yeah. That's when all them holy days is over with and done with. We can get back to
Okay.
schedule. We about to get real busy, man. We got a lot of planning, a lot of stuff we gotta organize and get together.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so this is my understanding of this. So I believe because Paul only mentions all Israel basically twice. This is it. Yeah. So verse 6, he says, wait, oh my, I was like, why is this reading so weird?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
I
about to
know
say,
they
yo,
said
Yeah, yeah.
all
You
Israel
gotta turn
here.
it back.
hey, yo.
Like, don't make me act like I'm adding to the text. Okay. He says all Israel here. And the only other place is in Romans 11 and 26. So he says, not as though the word of God had taken none effect, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel, meaning born out of Israel. These are not all Israel. You guys, how do you guys understand that? You know,
We
kind of
see that
connect
to
this.
mean that because he's speaking on election. He's breaking down how the heathens still come from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Like Abraham still had kids. He had Isaac, but he also had Ishmael. Then he got with his other wife, and he had some other kids. Then, if you look at Isaac, Isaac had twins. He had Esau and he had Jacob. And then you get, Jacob. We see that Edomites and Edomites, Midianites, and the Ishmaelites. We would say that's what that's interpreting. That yeah, they might come from one of the lineage of Israel, but they're not Israel. That's the point of election when he doubles down and says, "Well, in Isaac, thy seed should be called."
But
Also,
of Israel denotes from Jacob, right? That
Uh,
doesn't denote from that can't denote from
it's the
Abraham.
it's the context. That's why it's got the colon. It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That's what he's going into, showing that,
So,
yeah, Abraham had other kids and Isaac had other kids, but it's a strict lineage that is following.
but wouldn't neither denote another negation? So if I said, I'm not going to go to the gym nor work out, those would be two separate events. I'm sorry, I'm using the analogy. This is the only way I can kind of like bridge the gap with
I
this.
understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
now this is how you use it.
Right. So it's like a double negation when it says neither. It's like, okay, nor this as well. So this is another thought, also slightly connected, but not the same thought. It's connected, but it's not the exact same.
It's that's what I'm saying. It's slightly connected because the whole context of Romans
It's
9
about true children, right?
is about the true truth and the election. Who is God election? Who did God choose?
Right. So and then he goes in to speak about Abraham, and he says, because they are the seed of Abraham, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. So now it's speaking about children of Abraham, but before it was speaking about children of Israel, like true Israel. So I believe it gives us two understandings on, hey, children of Abraham, children of Israel. But my whole point here, and I'll just wrap this up because you guys might need to go to sleep, or it's getting late for me.
Yeah,
Yeah. But he says, for they are not all Israel, which are of Israel. This denotes people who are born from Jacob. And it says, this is not all Israel. So there's a true Israel that is not composed of only Israelite born people. It does contain Israel. So it's not Gentiles coming and replacing Israel. It contains Israel. As Paul says in Romans 11, he goes on and he says, hey, there's an election of Israel and there's the rest are blinded. These blinded ones are the broken off branches, and they can come back into this tree, but there's a wild olive tree, which are these Gentiles, and they're grafted in. And in verse 26, when he says, and so all Israel shall be saved, Paul just told us that all Israel is not all Israelites. It's a
okay.
portion of Israel, right? It's because he's talking about the elect, the called out seed. So when he uses this, it's weird how he says, and so. The word so, it's an adverb. It means in this way. Every time you see this word, you have to go up above and read what's being spoken about. So as these non-Israelites are being grafted in with the elect, and some of the broken off branches are coming back in, this is how all Israel is saved. So true Israel is the elect of Israel, those who are brought back, and the Gentiles that are grafted in.
Yeah, I would just say in Romans 9 and 6, when you actually go into that Greek for the not of Israel, it explains that it's talking about what I said about how there are other nations that come from the lineage of Israel, but they're not Israelites.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, because so Paul's basically saying like if I said, let's say there was a spiritual reality to being like an American. I said all people who are actual Americans are not all of America. There's a spirit of America around the world that exists.
See, I would interpret that different though. If you said not all Americans are Americans, I would agree with that because I'm a black man and the original Americans are white people. So all Americans are Americans. You see what I'm saying? I would use that as physical descendant. That's why when I go into the Thayer's Greek lexicon for this, it says for this word, it says, for not all those that draw their bodily descent from Israel are true Israelites, i.e., those whom God pronounced to be Israelites and has chosen salvation. So that's talking about a carnal descendant.
That's my point. Yeah, that's my point. So if Paul says this is not all Israel, right? If that's true, that just straight carnal Israel is not all Israel, right? That's what we understand.
No, I'm saying like this one is interpreting what I'm saying. Ishmael comes from the lineage of Israel.
No, he doesn't. How does Ishmael come from Israel?
Because he comes from Abraham.
The lineage of Israel is not from Abraham, it's from Jacob.
And that's what I said. If you go into the Thayer's Greek, it says, for not all those that draw their bodily descent from Israel. What is bodily descent? Is physical lineage.
Yeah, but who's Israel though?
That's what I said. The context of this Israel is talking about Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That's why when you get the semicolon, he goes deeper into breaking down what he's saying. Now you have Abraham, but from Abraham, now you have Isaac. And then from Isaac, then it goes down into Jacob. And then it says Jacob, then it goes into Isaac. Then it breaks down how Jacob had a brother named Esau. And from there, he chose Jacob. It's showing, when you follow it down the line, it's showing.
Is there more choosing after Jacob? Is there more choosing? Like you said, with Isaac, it wasn't Ishmael, it was Isaac.
That's why I say in verse 13 in Romans 9, it clarifies who's the chosen lineage now. It distincts themselves from the Ishmaelites, the Midianites, the Edomites, and then it just shows that Jacob. That's like when you read Romans 9 all the way down, that's why like that. That's what it's explaining. It's explaining, there's other kids in this lineage of Israel, from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. There are other nations that come from those people. But if you follow the lineage, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, those are the people that's elect.
But so here's my issue. I understand like the whole lineage aspect of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But when it gets to speaking about Israel, it's specific. Like if somebody reading this in the first century, when they read all Israel, do you think their brain goes to Ishmael, that their brain goes to Esau? It doesn't go to any of those, right?
Well, I wouldn't say the people I'm not going off the people that's
because this is directed towards them, right?
Well, no, I'm not going off of how people are reading. I'm going off of what Paul is trying to get this breakdown of. Because Israelite, if I say Israel, I'm including Abraham in that.
Yeah, okay, but okay, let's put that in there. Okay, not all who are descended from Abraham are true Israel, right?
I would agree with that. Not everybody that comes from Abraham is the true lineage of Israel.
Did anybody else? Okay, so Paul's writing to an audience. Did anybody else in the first century think that people outside of Jacob's descendants were Israelites?
Yeah, King Agrippa, they started claiming themselves as Jews.
Where?
When you got Drusilla.
Oh, go okay. You want me to type Drusilla?
They call her a Jewish woman.
It's going to be
Yeah, right there. It calls her a Jewish woman. At this time, the Herodians are Edomites. Well, they descend from Abraham and Isaac.
Mhm.
That's why Paul is giving this breakdown. Like, yeah, they descend from us too, but in Isaac's seed was it called, and then from there he harps on how it wasn't about who was right and wrong. He just chose
So,
Jacob.
so this word doesn't mean Jews.
What it says Jewish woman.
Yeah, but it's in the Greek, it's the word that's used for when it calls Jesus the King of the Jews, calls him the King of the Jews a lot.
I don't think it's the same.
Okay, let's go. Let's do this. We'll do this and then we'll wrap up. I promise you guys.
No, you good. This is good.
All right, so
What was that verse with Drusilla?
Acts 24 and 24.
Okay, Acts 24 and 24.
Okay. So Udaias or Udaiah is how it is here. All right. So we're gonna look at this word. Udaias. Okay, so here it says Polybius, Diodorus, Strabo, Plutarch, others in the Septuagint, Sophocles, Sophocles,
It says belonging
Lex,
to the Jewish nation.
Yeah. Jewish as respects birth, race, religion, a Jew, citizens of the kingdom of Judah, the Jews, the Jewish race.
And the problem that we have is we know that Drusilla is the descendant of the Herodians. So there's no way in hell she really comes from the Jews. Like you can follow her.
But you don't believe the Herodians have any Hasmonean blood at all?
No, I believe the Herodians are the Herodians are a convert.
Yeah, but okay, so
Like
do you believe King Agrippa was a Jew?
No, he's a convert.
His mother, well, I guess it's how you guys reckon lineage.
We go off of father, like how the Bible say.
Okay.
So we don't really care about your mother.
But it would be like, so okay. I'm about to say King Agrippa's mother was medium. She was a Jew. And that would be the same thing with I believe Drusilla.
Yeah, I believe it. I'm pretty sure somebody, maybe a woman, was in there because at that time we see our people allowing people to try to convert around that time. We have some type of
they would call them proselytes though. They wouldn't call them Jews. Like there's only one spot where they actually call proselytes Jews. There's only one place in the Bible.
I wouldn't even say they calling them proselytes. I would just say that this is the what Paul is breaking down right here. He's making a clear distinction of, yes, these Edomites may have some descendants from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but they're not the direct lineage that was chosen. Same thing with Ishmael. So I would say that's how that would be interpreted.
Yeah, I don't know. I think because what if this is the case? What if lineage is mostly determined by the father, but can be determined by the mother? You can, but I'm saying what if, and he's calling, and Luke, which is the author of this, is calling this woman a Jewess because her mother is Jewish. Could that be possible?
I would say I wouldn't have to I wouldn't agree with that because the Torah has a distinctive how do we know somebody's a Jew, and it's off the men of Israel. It doesn't even matter what your mom is.
Well, that's how the tribe is determined, not if you're an Israelite.
No, it does. It determines your whole lineage. That's why when you go in Ezra chapter 2, those brothers that was trying to be priests, they couldn't be priests because they didn't know who their fathers was, but their mother was an Israelite.
Yeah, that was the tribal determination. But they were still Israelites. It doesn't say like they weren't Israelites anymore.
I didn't say they wasn't Israelites no, but what I'm saying is to be an Israelite, period, whatever tribe. If let's say a Edomite gets with a woman that's from Judah, that child is not an Israelite. That child is an Edomite.
I'm gonna save this verse for next time we talk.
Go to 2 Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
My answer to that would be before the law was actually codified on what makes somebody Israelite. They were just showing honor to that man in the Bible.
You talking about Shishan?
Yeah, he's talking about Shishan.
Oh.
Oh, so look, y'all gave a different answer. I've heard like 5 or 6 different answers to that, which is
What they say?
interesting. Some say, oh, Egyptian can mean somebody who's an Israelite that lives in Egypt. Another said, the child that they had wasn't actually an Israelite, which everything just disagrees with that completely because it's the lineage of Judah. But in certain cases, that can happen if
Well,
you
when
know.
you look at that lineage of Judah in there, it tells you how he didn't have any sons after that. He only had a daughter. So the daughter actually got with a bloodline Egyptian. And to give honor to that man, because he probably was a great man in Israel, they just claimed his kids. But I would say that term that would have to have happened when we was in Egypt, and around that time when we was in Egypt, we didn't have no codified law that said, "Oh, this person's an Israelite based off of this."
Well, I think what's interesting is that we see the father is the one directing the lineage most of the time, and what we see is one rarity or possibly two. Yeah, possibly two. There's another one I can't remember off the top of my head,
It's
but
one,
one or
I know
two.
it's another one with in like King David's time, they
Yeah,
they claimed the boys off of the mother because they had no idea who the father was. You know, sometimes Israel, we just be black people do that. We do that now.
yeah, but they
You know,
didn't say like, oh, because we don't know who the father is, he's not an Israelite. It's just tribal determination. That's because the biggest thing with that was inheritance. So if your mother was usually they married within the tribe. So if your mother was Benjamin and your father was Judah, the tribal
you got to
inheritance would be Judah.
would be Judah, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
If
unless there is the
so,
unless with yeah.
my question would be is if an Israelite doesn't know who his father is and inheritance is passed down through tribes, then you would just be an Israelite with no inheritance.
Yeah, but the inheritance would be reset like it is every what is it? Every couple years the land is reset. So if you're
No, I
somebody in a
understand
family,
that, but
yeah.
if we don't know if your father's Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, what inheritance do you get?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's fine, but it still wouldn't be like, hey, you get no inheritance and now you're no longer an Israelite.
No,
Um,
I would probably say
you know what I'm saying?
they probably just let him the kid stay with his mom, but he wouldn't. I would say he probably wouldn't have no inheritance to pass down because he
Yeah.
has no father.
Yeah, no, and that's fine. And that's where you get into the law where it speaks about the widowed, the orphans. The orphans are the fatherless, the widow are the husbandless, and the strangers. So I think that's why that kind of goes into. But yeah, man, hey, look,
Great convo though.
yeah, we see how the energies kind of came into a woosah sort of
Yeah,
place.
man. Hey, that's why I said, bro, with all the debates I've seen, the best debates are formal, man. Only because you just eliminate a lot of stuff and get straight to the point, you
Yeah,
know. So if we talk, I propose we just do like like a little intro. You basically can lay out your position. We lay out our position, maybe like 15. We rebut the position. We have a hot seat back and forth conclusion, and after that, if you want to kick it and just kick the scriptures, we can do that. You know what I'm
Mm. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, D, Oz, and Taz Israel, you guys are welcome to come on at any time. If you guys ever see me talk about any other topics, you can come on, disagree with me, but we can have a discussion. And of course, yeah, we'll talk about the 25th, you said?
Yeah, that would probably be the best day. Hit us up, see what you want to talk about. If you want to continue talking on the same subject, or we talk about something different, don't really matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I love talking about the Bible, man.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like
Because
I
we
said
didn't get,
last time, everything don't gotta be oh, I got you, or oh yeah, we got this, man. Let's just talk, bro. Let's just talk about the Bible.
yeah, no, for real.
That
That's more my speed. Just talking. I don't like to get mean and nasty. I like to just talk. We disagree. Kind of just let the people decide, hey, whose point was better? Who do I agree with? And that's go from there. Yeah, if you guys want, we can discuss the rest of Romans 11, like at like 15 down.
Yeah, we could talk
And
about it on our platform.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I mean though. Like with a formal, like, because I still don't know your full position on Romans 11, and you haven't heard our position on Romans 11 from the top. You
All
only
the way
heard bits
down.
and pieces,
Right.
which you can't really do. You know what I'm saying? Like for you
Yeah.
to clearly understand somebody's point, you gotta hear them out from start to finish, and then critique.
Daddy, I want
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. So if you guys want to do just a time where we each break it down, write each other's points down, and kind of have like a almost like a debate style, but I lay out my premises, you lay out yours, and we kind of be like, well, this premise don't make sense, and why don't it make sense? This is why. Boom, boom, boom. We can go do that.
Definitely.
Yeah. Cool,
Right.
cool. Well, I appreciate y'all. Was you live, Oz?
No, I'm not live. I'm at the crib. I'm
Oh,
on
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Zoom.
we not live. We not
Yeah.
live.
If you want this, you could just go on my channel. I'll keep this posted. You could post it, whatever, do whatever you want.
You got
Okay,
you.
Um,
for sure.
So yeah, we'll get up later, hit you guys up about the 25th. Appreciate y'all for coming on, man.
All right, man. You take care.
Peace,
All right,
man.
y'all too.
Peace up.
Peace, man.